So let me know when we're on. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Watkins Glen International for technically day 3, Josh, even though we've only been day 2, but technically day 3 here for the 2025 Porsche Clash at the Glen, and it's Enduro Day. We're going to see 75 minutes for 2 of our classes. Our first class getting ready to come up, our orange group, is 64 drivers strong. Actually, more drivers than that because you're going to see some driver changes, and some of these teams may or may not go through some fueling stages when they come down for their 5-minute pit stop. We're going to talk about that here in a moment, but good morning, and how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I love endurance racing. This is my jam, both as a crew member and as an announcer, so I'm looking forward to seeing some good old 75-minute enduros, Brian.
Well, I tell you what, Josh, this is a product of, yesterday we had the sprint races, so 30 minutes, so basically all out. These drivers here, there's got to be some strategy involved. They've got to play that. They've got to know when to pit, when not to pit. Some of the rules that we have here, again, 75 minutes. They need to make a mandatory 5-minute pit stop. They cannot make it within the first 15 minutes, and the pit window closes with 10 minutes left to go, right? So you have to get that in. Then you also have to play, hopefully we go green to checker. We don't have a full course caution. If the full course caution comes out and you have not made that pit stop and we get down to the end, it could cause a problem for you, and you may end up getting penalized. So you've got to be very careful about that. There are crews down here on pit road. They have radio communications. They know when to pit. You've got to look for a partner. If you're one of the leaders in your class, and we're going to have a plethora, as we saw in the sprint races, especially in this orange group, there's a plethora of different classes. You've got to know who you're racing at all times, and you've got to know when either they're going to pit or they're not going to pit, right? And so it becomes where there's a bunch of strategy in. And we're going to see that throughout this entire 75 minutes as we go, as cars are now starting to pull out and go on course. Tell you what, Josh, let me go ahead and give you the rundown. I'm going to give you the top 30 so that we can come back and talk a little bit more about what our viewers are going to see today. Starting on the pole in the number 66 machine, that's Claudio Kemp. Starting in the second position is the 777, that's Franklin Prey. In the 079, starting in third, that is Charles Liu. Eric Yortsoy is going to start fourth, and he's going to be in the 321. Yuri Masanov in the 690, he's going to start fifth. Matt DiStefano is going to start sixth, and he'll be in the 93. Scott Gill will start in the seventh position, and he'll be in the 158. Waleed Chetty in the 147, he's scheduled to start 8th. Sam Amano is going to start 9th, and he's going to be in the number 4 machine. Tim Lambie is going to be in the 39 machine, and he's going to start outside row 5 in the 10th position. Donald Anger, we saw Donald win yesterday in one of the sprint races. He's going to start in the 11th position, and he's in the number 50. Craig Rochick is going to be in the 320, and he's going to start 12th. 13th is going to be Michael Gershon, and he's going to be in the 087. Steve Garrison will start 14th in the 127. In the 15th position, the 921 will be Doug Crossman. Starting 16th will be the 122 of Michael Venable. Starting in the 17th position in that 201, that's Lee Lasberg. Starting in the 18th position, that's John Dunsky, and he'll be in the 447. Robbie Wilson, your Spec Boxster winner from yesterday, will start 19th, and he'll be in the 029. Agnaw, and he'll be in the 75 machine. Starting in the 21st position, that'll be the 54 of Jordan Simonson. Starting 22nd, that'll be the 159, and that'll be Terrence Judge. Starting in 23rd position, in the number 2, that's John Patton. Starting 24th in the 23, that's Eugene Basha. Starting 25th, and we saw this driver pretty much up front all day long yesterday in that Spec Boxster match, or in that Spec Boxster race yesterday, Josh. That's going to be Noah Mazzola, and he'll be in the number 5. Starting 26th in the 07, that's going to be Will Waldron. Starting in the 27th position, that'll be Sean O'Brien, and he'll be in the 441. Starting in the 28th position in the 992, that's our, as we got the text message yesterday, that's our grandmother. That's going to be Mary Schindler in the 992. Starting 29th in the 611, that's going to be Hunt McMahon, and scheduled to start 30th in the 229 is Alex Farragut. Now, I did not see Alex go out this morning for warm-up, so I'm not sure if he made the grid. We'll take a look at that as our race unfolds for our drivers, as it looks like they are starting to come down now through turn 5. Again, we'll give you the rest of the lineup here as the race unfolds, giving you the top 30 here just so we can get back to some of the conversation we were having here, Josh, about the enduro races and what it takes from a strategy standpoint, not only for the team, but as you talked about, for the crew. It's a lot. You have to understand and you have to have good communication in between all of those. So again, as we unfold this race, we'll be able to pick out who's got a shot and who doesn't.
Yeah, most definitely. And I did see out, in fact, I believe that's her coming through our screen right now, in that green and black classic 911. So we do know she is out there. Hopefully we'll be able to ride along with Alex Farragut. But as you were saying about the crews, now 5 minutes may sound like an eternity for people who watch Formula One, IMSA, NASCAR, IndyCar. But remember, these are all amateurs. And it's not just, it could be just as simple as, oh, well, you know, I need to take a 5-minute break so the driver gets out of the car and then gets back in. Or they add fuel. Well, you need to have at least 2 people over the wall. You need to have a little drip pan underneath the car as you're fueling with a fire bottle and a person fueling. Of course, those people, they need to be wearing safety equipment. And on a day like today, that's going to suck a little bit. But fortunately, it's only an hour 15 minutes, so they can embrace the suck and hydrate themselves.
Well, you know, when we get down to the fueling, and I think you're going to see some of these spec boxes are not going to take fuel. They should be able to go the full 75 minutes. Some may not. Some may take it because the way the car is set up for that on a full tank of fuel. So again, it's going to come down to what is the driver preference, what is the setup preference. But I don't believe we'll see our spec boxers have that. We unfortunately will not be riding along with Alex Farragut today in this race. I know there were some camera problems yesterday during the race, but we will at some point ride along with the 941 Brian Charters and Van Swenson. They're going to do a driver change sometime during this race. They're scheduled to start 46, but we will be doing we will ride along there as the race unfolds, but right now our cars are coming out of turn number 11 right now, Josh, getting ready to come down underneath the bridge, looking at our starter, hoping we can get a green flag and get this 75-minute race going. And we are green flag racing right now, and again, a lot of jockeying back and forth there, Josh, as our leaders, Claudio Kemp and Franklin Prey, side by side going down into turn 1, still side by side as they go through turn number 1, start to head up towards turn number 2. Again, you got to get single file through there, Josh. As you know, when you get up the top of that hill and get into that bus stop there, into the back there, you need to be single file to get through. Too wide will not work early on. There should be a lot of give and take within the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, and most definitely. Although we saw in the races yesterday, there was some give and take, but this time, another one of the strategy thing is, okay, can I run him down later? And it looks like Prey has moved into second. Kempf is still ahead. Nope, I got that back.
Looks like Franklin Prey is going to get in front of Claudio Kemp there right before the bus stop. So, again, move Franklin Prey. Again, a lot of give and take is going to happen right now with some of these cars. And some of these drivers, again, we're seconds into this race. Look for these drivers. Again, these drivers were out for a warm-up earlier to try to get some heat in the tires, try to get some heat in the brakes, find out really what they have. But I'd venture to say as this race unfolds, because you're still racing multi-class racing, so even though we have 64 cars going out for this Enduro, you are still racing your drivers and the other teams in your class.
Oh, most definitely. And, you know, it's a long race right now. Get through the first couple laps and then just start clicking off the laps is the best way to do things. And that's what the teams that I've worked with always seem to do.
Still a couple cars trying to still go too wide down there through turn 8 and up into turn 9. Again, a little bit further back. A lot of our rows kind of in the middle of the pack, kind of in the 20s to 30 place positions as we go, and that's kind of going to be in the Ryan McNabb, Lee Lasberg Robbie Wilson there. Robbie Wilson used to being out front in this group. Little bit further back now today. These times where they were scheduled to start based off of their starting positions were based off their lap times. Normally the way they do it on the Enduros is because there's 3 races during the weekend, usually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Friday and Saturday, and then 2 on Saturday. They take the best time that you have between race 2 and race 3. Well, remember, we didn't get to run race 1 because of the unfortunate incident. We're going 3-4 wide down here with some of our spec boxers, probably mid-pack there, Josh, as they go down into turn 1 and come through turn 2. But remember, we didn't get to run race 1 on Friday afternoon because of the unfortunate incident we had with the Armco and the guardrail that needed to be replaced, and the weather was just so bad. It was just impossible to really get out there and do anything. So we moved everything to yesterday, right? So we had qualifying and then both races. So you take those 2 races, and that seeded you where your position was here. Well, some of our spec boxers, when they were in their group yesterday, they were kind of that mid-pack and back. But now, as we mix all of some of our yellow group that we had yesterday with some of our classes and this group as well, to determine our group, that puts you mid-pack. So now you have to work your way up, and you're not really racing with your spec boxer class as you would in the other one based off of the time.
Yeah, most definitely. But that's the joys of multi-class racing, is there's always someone out there to race with, and also PCA racing in general. You know, you can go out there and have some fun and race some very good friends. I talking with Gene Ramundi last night, and he's out in this race right now, and he said, oh yeah, me and a friend, we're just having fun racing each other out there. And it looks like Franklin Prey and Kemp and Lou are definitely having fun out there. And Lou has pulled into second position from Claudio Kemp as they go up through turn number 1 and coming out to turn number 2. So it looks like those guys are just separating themselves, although Lou, well, somebody went a little wide there.
One car really, really wide going through turn number 1. We'll see about getting the car number on that. As we'll listen to the corner workers to determine who that was, but definitely wanted to get as much of the track as they could there on turn 1. That car just didn't seem to turn and went dead straight. You know, we talked about Claudio Kemp. Claudio had some problems yesterday in one of the sprint races that we saw, and basically ended early. Also ended his session in qualifying a little early as well, if I remember watching here. From the top of outside our window here. So that car seems to be up to full song. His time was clocked in and seated with that 2:03.524 that he ran yesterday at some point during one of those races, you know, in order to get that and put him up on the pole. Franklin Prey has been really pretty dominant in that car kind of all weekend long within that J class. So again, good to see Franklin out here running again. Also some other ones, Ryan McGrath in that H class leading right now. So again, as I talked about, even though this is a huge, large Enduro, you can see our ticker over there, and you're going to see a multiple of colors by each of those drivers' names. What that does is that designates which group you're actually running in, so that you can see through there your favorite driver, that you can see how many cars are in between from a different group where they need to catch that other color. And keep in mind, as we've been talking about all race long so far, there are pit stops involved. It will change dramatically as we get down into the 75-minute Enduro. So again, it's going to be a lot of moving as we come out of turn number 11 and head down the front stretch. You're going to see Claudio Kemp's going to get a great run over Franklin Prey coming out of there down the hill, down into turn number 1. So move Claudio Kemp in that number 66 machine, in that blue 911. Move him back up into second overall and leading right now in that GT4 class.
Yeah, and also we saw that Charles Liu got around both of them. So, for all we know, the other, you know, Kemp and Prey, they're just like, okay, you're a little faster right now. It's a long race. Go on ahead and go, but you know, we'll stay reasonably close just in case, but it's a long race.
If we look a little bit further back, and Zach, if we can leave it right here, the second and third car coming in the shot right now, you have Matt DiStefano and Eric Yortsoy. Eric Yortsoy now is going to move a little bit further ahead, so he was able to make a pass on Matt DiStefano in that number 93. So again, now you've got DiStefano being pressured by Yuri Masinov, and that's for Spec Cayman, right? That's another good class in here that always comes down to the last couple of laps, or it comes down to strategy at the end. There's the white car, the 321 there of Eric Yortsoy. He's gotten around both of those drivers, so move him up now leading that Spec Cayman class. But again, as I said, this class comes down, it seems, to the last lap, to the last minute of the race. To determine who normally wins in these enduros.
Yeah, and that's, that's also one of the good things about quote-unquote spec classes is they're limited on what they can do, and they can't like throw a large budget. Well, they could, but they don't need to throw a large budget at the car because, a mostly bone stock stuff like Spec Boxster, or as you said, Spec Cayman, which kind of evens things out and makes it all about the driver, right, Brian?
Right, absolutely. Definitely comes down to, understanding kind of really what's going on. And again, if you've never run an enduro race, and we've seen enduro races, in the pro ranks, from the 24-hour race at Daytona to the 24-hour race at Le Mans. Heck, we even got the 6-hour here. I think some of these Porsches should go 6 hours as well. I think that, it takes a lot from the group, right? It's not just a driver getting in. And we look down here out our window and you see all of the crews, they're ready to go. It takes a lot for them as well to get this thing moving from a team perspective. A little bit further back, there's the Donald Anger machine coming up there. That's 14th overall. He is right behind Ryan McGrath, about 2/10 behind. Again, not a battle for class, but a battle for position on the racetrack. Donald Anger, your winner yesterday in that 9/11 Cup in yesterday afternoon's race. I believe he won the mid-morning, I'll say. I think he won that sprint race too. I think he won both 1 and 2 in that number 50 machine. So good run for the weekend for him as well. We do have an in-car camera, and if we can, Zach, let's try to find out the 941 Breon Chargers and find out where that car may be right now. Looks like they're coming up the S's, and it looks like it may have frozen on us right when we went to it. So we'll try to come back. Look like it's coming through the S's. We'll see if we can get back into that. But what that does, it just kind of shows you kind of the layout of the track. And again, that camera may be going in and out, every couple of minutes. So we'll see if we can't pick up. There we go. There's Brown Charters getting ready to come down, getting ready to enter in through the laces there of the boot. Again, you can see a couple cars in front of him that he is trying to work at to try to pass. That is actually going to be, and now our timing and scoring is just completely went away, and then there we go. Now we're back. That's probably going to be Jared Roadheaver and Stephen Ryan. Again, that is 2 Spec Boxster cars right in front, so he should be able to come up. I do know there's going to be a driver change in this car as the race unfolds as well. So we'll take a look at that once we get to it.
And as you're looking there, you'll see that giant, what looks like a timer on the steering wheel there, and you might wonder, why does he have a timer? Well, you have to time your pit stops and time it right. So from the stop to when you can get going, if you're 4 minutes 59 seconds, well, sorry, you didn't meet your mandatory 5.
Yeah, and then you got to come back down and do a drive-through, and then you get held for as long as it takes. We got one car on pit road right now, and Josh, see if you can see this. I don't believe is a 5-minute pit stop. I believe this is going to be, and we also have the 23 of Eugene Basha in our Pink Pig, another 911 car. It looks like they're looking at something under the rear of the car. So again, this is not part of that 5-minute mandatory pit stop there. So they've got some type of an issue, and there is another car, another 911, just behind him as well.
And that would be the 201 machine. I saw the mechanic.
Yeah, that's Lee Lasberg. So Lee having a problem. I'm not sure if he's going to continue out or not. But again, this is another thing that plays into you know, some type of a challenge here as we're still on board with the Charters machine. But as we come back, everybody's starting to single file out. Our leaders here just now going down into turn one, Charles Liu, Claudio Kemp. They're starting to come up in the back half of the traffic here, Josh, so they're starting to reel into that. This is where it's going to become an issue through there. As Lee Lasberg has now left that pit box, so did Eugene Basha in the 23. Not sure if they're both going back out, but they may be making that right-hand turn. And it does look like Lee Lasberg's day and weekend is going to be done. For now, he is making that. Eugene Basha going, he's making the right-hand turn as well. So both of those cars done for the weekend.
Yeah, I was watching the 201 machine, and it looked like the left front wheel, the crew member was yanking on it, and I thought I saw a shake of the head, but as soon as he finished yanking on it, the crew member was on the mic to the driver. So yeah, that's unfortunate. They knew instantly they were unfortunately out of the race.
Yeah, there's our overall leaders right there. Again, Charles Liu in the 79, Claudio Kemp, that's the GT3 and GT4 battle right there. And a little bit further back, there is the Franklin Prey machine. Eric Yortsoy is going to come up behind it. It's about 14 seconds behind. I believe that's Eric Yortsoy right now. That's your leader in Spec Cayman. Matt DiStefano is going to be second in Spec Cayman, so he should be coming around as well. Another good run right now early on by the 158 there of Scott Gill and Sam Amano running really, really well with that. I'm going to go back a little bit further here as, again, these drivers starting to spread out. We knew this is what we would see, Josh, right? You get in there, you're racing cars, you're going to be battling, and there is a lot of give and take here within the first 15 minutes of this race. Remember, these guys are half their sprint races they did yesterday. So, again, you gotta look at that.
Yeah, and as I'm looking at our timing, looks like we have already completed 14 minutes. So we're getting close to when that pit window is opening up. Now, here's your first bit of strategy. Do you come in early and hope for a late yellow and be able to pick up positions? Or do you wait as long as you can and then come in?
I think you're going to see some of these spec boxers are probably going to pit at the halfway point, right? They're going to look and see kind of where everybody is at that time. And I was, kind of looking at, looking down our spec boxer class here, kind of going through, and I noticed a pretty good battle between a couple of drivers, and I'm kind of looking for them to come by here. And that was Ryan Farragut in the 291 with Lawson Wilder in that 69 or in that 16, that Red Bull painted scheme, and then Alex Au in the 79. Those two were within 8/100ths of a second of each one crossing the start-finish line. And here they are in this gaggle right here, and I'm going to say it's a gaggle because there is a bunch of them there together, and that is really going to be 7th place all the way back to 12th place in Spec Boxster as they come out of turn number 11. Now, one of the interesting things that I just noticed on the screen, I'm going to take a look at it here, is here they all come. Alex Farragut looks like she's getting ready to come up and pass dear old dad, right? So, again, both Farraguts, Alex the daughter, Ryan the father, and I'm sure they've had plenty of races with each other together, but she's kind of right there in the back half of that, trying to work with that group as well to try to move up through, get past that. She's got a little bit of a ways to go if she wants to jump into that 9/11 cup race there. Right now she is sitting in second, but she is 43 seconds behind Donald Anger with, unfortunately, Lee Lasberg and Eugene Basha dropping out of the race. That moves actually Alex right now up in the second with Nate DeSantos in that 08 machine in third. So again, we'll keep an eye on that as we go through, in the next couple of laps, see whether or not she's able to get by some of these spec Boxsters.
Oh yeah, and of course, I was saying yesterday, and I don't want to harp on this, but all these cars intermingling, they all make around the same lap time, but that doesn't mean they're the same how they make the lap time. Some cars are better for the turns, and others, they've got the power. So, and once again, multi-class racing, with traffic, you hit the traffic at the wrong spot, you lose momentum. Although today, you have a little bit more time to work, so if you're balked, you don't have to, get it right now, go back around. Right now, as we see two 968s coming down on pit road here.
One of them is the 077 machine.
And the other is the 07, it looks like. Or maybe two. SP3 number 2. That looks like an old Firestone Firehawk car, judging from the Firestone Firehawk logo on the door there. And looks like just an average pit stop.
So I think the 07 there, that is Will Waldron. And I think we'll find out who the other one is, but that doesn't look like they're making that 5-minute pit stop. Doesn't look like any fuel is going in. When the fuel goes in, they have to remove the driver to do that. Our other driver down there, I believe that is the 077 machine. And that may be, I'm not seeing the 077, so we may have just the 77, or maybe that is the 77-1. Well, no, because that's a spec Boxster. So that's definitely not them. We'll figure out who that is that's down on pit road, but they look like they're doing their 5-minute pit stop as well. We are 20 minutes into this race right now, so this is a time, as you just talked about, Josh, they're going to come in and they're going to pit early and then use it. I see that they are going underneath the hood of one of those cars. So again, just a routine deal, make sure everything is okay, but it doesn't look like they're going to take fuel or tires, just completing their 5-minute mandatory pit stop.
Yeah, the crew is looking rather relaxed. They're probably just checking fluids and such. Keying the mic, one guy is in full suit, but he has not taken the headset off, so looks like business as usual down there. They're burning that 5 minutes.
Yeah, getting that driver, get some water, get some fluids in there, kind of checking over the car, sit there for a minute. And, Josh, you mentioned, the fact that these drivers have timers on their steering wheels, so they know exactly, and we kind of mentioned it before. If you don't do the full 5-minute pit stop and you go across that line down at the end of pit road, before that 5 minute, you will be brought in, sat down here at our black flag station, until however much time you have left, and then you will be sent back out. We've seen drivers leading groups, leading classes, turning around and having to come in and serve a 1-second time. So when you do that, it takes a good long time to come down pit road. It looks like one of our spec boxes, that's the 165 right there coming in. That, I believe, is actually going to be Tamer Albaga coming down pit road looking to get service from his crew. So Tamer coming in, taking that early time frame as well. Another one back a little bit further. So Josh, you called it. Some of these drivers coming in earlier than anticipated. Most of them are probably going to go halfway.
Yeah, and the other car that's down pit road, I'm assuming a spec Boxster, is car number 5, and it looks like they might be taking on fuel, because there is a guy right at the fuel port, fully suited up.
Well, that would be Mazzola, and that does look like Mazzola in that spec Boxster car. So looks like they are going to do some fuel on that. You don't really see that right now, but that is the 5 machine there of Noah Mazzola. But yeah, we get word that cutting the grass, coming up over the totally drawing a blank on what they're called now.
The curbs?
The curbing, like totally drawing a blank on what they were called. The curbing, and so what that does is that gets underneath that car, and that could do, and I believe that's really what happened with Noah Mazzola in that 5 car that's sitting down there on pit road, and then going back in, coming and doing that so that the team can check that out.
Yeah, because the last thing you want to do, even though it's coolish out today, you don't want to overheat things or, have a small grass fire in your braking system because they're so hot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That is not something that you want to look at there, in order for that to happen. So, again, coming down, getting that pit road. There goes, I believe, the 07 that you were talking about on pit road, just now leaving Will Waldron. So again, right now, Will in that SP3 class, he is 2 laps down, but basically our first 4 cars in that class, they have yet to pit. So again, as the pit stops happen, it's going to show that, where we have these drivers from where they've pitted. So we have some that are just now coming down in pit road and then getting ready to come out. A lot of drivers where they've had that problem early on just isn't able to pick that up. So again, our leaders, Charles Liu, Claudio Kemp, Franklin Prey, and then Eric Yortsoy in 4th. And now move Matt DiStefano in there. It looks like Scott Gill has dropped, so maybe Scott Gill is coming down pit road right now as Tamer Albaga in the pink spec Boxster goes back behind the wall. So I believe Tamer's day is going to be done as well. And yet here comes some more cars on pit road. And I believe one of them, Josh, is the 941 right there. And I believe you may see a driver change coming up through there. So let's keep an eye on that from up here and see if that's really what happens. They're going down to pit road with towards the very end of pit road. Looks like they're checking something. So I don't believe this is going to be part of that 5-minute pit stop right now. It very well could be, because I see that possibly could be Van going over the wall now.
Yep, that looks like Van going over the wall, and there's also a fire bottle out right now, and that definitely looks like a pit stop.
Well, they've got the fire bottle out because it looks like they're getting ready to do some fuel. So it looks like they're going to put fuel in the car. Van is waiting there. They can't do anything with him inside the car. They have to do it outside of the car if that is happening. Again, that's to my left. It's very hard to see from down here. Van is inside talking to Breon Charters right there. You can see it on the on your camera right there. We picked that up. We got one car that's slow coming up out of turn number 4 and up to the bus stop there. We'll see whether or not that's going to bring out. And again, this comes back to that strategy, gentlemen, is that I believe that this could be, if they are that slow, could bring out a full course caution here.
Well, also, I've been hearing over the scanner that around turn 6, 2 cars got together and instituted one into a spin, and now he is pulled off onto the grass. The spinner, not the, well, yeah, the spinny.
Spinner, not the spinny?
No, the spinny got...
Spinny was pulled off.
Yeah, so maybe that's possibly lighting the fire under these guys to possibly come in and,
very good, because if we sit here and we look down pit road, and unfortunately we don't have a camera looking at it, pit road is very, very busy. And this goes back to, Josh, what I was talking about. And here you go. You can see it from camera 1, and this is just a portion of it. If you look all the way up over top of that hill, a lot of cars are on pit road, because I do believe we could end up going to a full course if that car, and it does look like our flagmen are starting to make some moves down there, Josh. So again, all these cars that are on pit road, they came out before the full course caution. If it does come out right now, it has not come out, but I believe when we get to look at the bus stop, that car still may be stopped. So and it does look like we are going to a full course caution. So again, I would venture to say there's probably 40 cars, Josh, on pit road right now all bunched up. I mean, they're even too wide on pit road.
Yeah, and I couldn't catch the station, but apparently we have the 007 machine that has stopped out on course with 2 wheels on the track and 2 wheels off the track. So that probably is what is instituting this caution. But yeah, we were saying earlier that, you know, if you get into pit road before the caution, you can continue with your pit stop. But now everybody who hasn't has to wait for the green flag to make their pit stop.
Yep.
So that's another monkey wrench or another card that you have to play in the game of endurance racing here.
Yeah. Again, all of these cars, there was 2 cars I saw that came right under right onto the pit road right before. I mean, literally seconds before. You know, that our starter here that we're looking out throughout the double yellow. We'll let the stewards all handle that and everything else, but right now we are under a full course caution for this race right now, so we can get some of those cars removed, possibly the one down in turn 6, and then maybe that one that stalled right before the bus stop to see whether or not get them out before we go green flag racing again. But, you know, fortunately for all of these drivers sitting on pit road, they're actually gaining gaining stuff to them.
And as looking down, I do see Van looks like he is getting in the car. Brian, should we see if we can dial up that onboard there?
Yeah, there you go. You
he
can
is,
see it. Well, let's pull up that onboard right there. There you go.
Thank you,
Van
Zach.
Svensson getting dialed in right there, getting buckled in. Again, they were on pit road doing all this stops that they have before that full course caution come out. So this 5 minutes, they're not losing anything, right? It's not like they're losing, an abundance of laps that could be happening. But again, it will be where they will pick back up. They may end up losing a lap, I believe, because they were in well before the full course caution came out. So again, I do believe that in that class they did go 1 lap down to that. Actually, right now they're 3 laps down to Ryan McGrath in that H class. But again, Ryan has yet to pit, and I don't know if Ryan made it to pit road before the full course caution. I'm looking down to see if I can see that 77. I do not see it. So it could be that he is still out circling on the racetrack, in order for that to happen. I am getting word that it is the 158 machine, Scott Gill, that is down in, I believe that's the entrance into turn 6, so entrance into the laces right there, that's backed up against the tire wall. So again, Scott Gill having some challenges down there in turn number 6.
Yeah, as we see now, Van is down and away, as they say in NASCAR.
Yep.
To be getting that.
I tell you what, Josh, why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead and let's take our break, right? So let all these cars get back together so that we can come back and hopefully get that green again. Still got a lot of cars that need to move out of there. So why don't we go ahead and take our break right now, run through that, thank some partners and some sponsors. When we come back, hopefully we're right back to green flag racing.
Yep.
You're watching the 2025 Porsche Clash at the Glen from Watkins Glen International. We'll be right back.
Pirelli and Porsche have been a winning combination around the racing world for years. Pirelli is proud to bring that relationship to PCA Club Racing yet again in 2025. Make sure to see the guys from Frisbee and find the right Pirelli tire for your vehicle, or check them out on the web at frisbeeracetire.com. Pirelli powers nothing without control.
Based in New Jersey, Precision Motorsports, or PMR, is a supporter of club racing and a new national sponsor for 2025. From the latest Cup cars to 944 racers, PMR has supported them all here at the track. True experts in their craft and dedicated to performance. Find them on Facebook at Precision Motorsports.
New for 2025, Isringhausen will be sponsoring the GTD 1, 2, and 3 classes. Our group here at Club Racing are thrilled to have them on board. Over the past 30 years, Isringhausen has become synonymous with quality vehicles and superb service. The Isringhausen way of doing business has been one of offering excellent products at fair prices, coupled with service that goes above and beyond what anyone would expect from a typical car dealership. We believe that good service is comprised of two components, a willing and helpful attitude, accompanied by competency in your field. We try to support an environment where each person who works here strives to serve each customer as they wish to be served, with dignity and respect. Because of these core values, Isringhausen has become and will continue to be a leading example in the industry.
One of our latest partners, TrackDay Tire, is happy to be supporting Club Racing through their Toyo, Hoosier, and Michelin tires. Use the code PCACR for a discounted checkout. The TrackDayTire.com team is passionate about helping our customers extract the highest level of performance from their vehicles on the track. Decades of on-track experience has taught us purpose-designed track-use tires are arguably the single most important vehicle component that influences driver confidence to obtain maximum vehicle performance. Making it easier for our fellow track day enthusiasts to obtain confidence-inspiring tires is our goal. We look forward to providing you access to the best prices and customer support in the industry.
Join us for the 31st Great Plains Region Carrera GT Club Race at Motorsports Park Hastings, June 20th through 22nd. In addition to club racing, we'll also be holding a DE for advanced drivers, and nobody will want to miss our wonderful Saturday night social. All GPR club members are invited to attend and experience the high-level racing, drive in the DE, or attend the social. Just a little more than 2 hours from Omaha, driving to MPH goes by pretty quick when you're cruising in a Porsche. Make sure to join us. Registration opens on clubregistration.net on May 5th.
Hub stands, created by BBX Racing, are designed to get the wheels and tires out of your way, making it easier, more efficient, and more repeatably precise to measure, align, and set up your race car suspension directly at the hubs. They are racer-proven everywhere, from club racing to IMSA, SRO to WEC, and with fits for pretty much everything, from 356s to 935s, from Lotuses to Ligier. Hub stands are manufactured in America at BBX Racing and are used by racers worldwide. Visit hubstands.com for information on complete setup systems for your car.
Join us for a 7-day cruise, the Treffen at Sea, to celebrate the 70th anniversary of Porsche Club. We'll be cruising August 30th to September 6th and showcasing the history and majesty of the East Coast. We'll stop in Newport, in Boston, Portland and St. John, and Halifax along the way, where you'll find import Porsche events. You'll also enjoy special entertainment, Porsche celebrity appearances, seminars, competitions, dinners, and the highly anticipated Porsche Diecast Concourse at Sea. The Enchanted Princess will both depart and return from New York City, making it a round trip. You'll experience incredible cuisine, culture, history, and nature, plus Porsche surprise events when we stop at port. To learn more and register, please visit pca.org and click the Events tab.
All right, welcome back to the 2025 Porsche Clash at the Glen. And Josh, you know, unfortunately, a couple cars stopped where they're not supposed to be, and so we ended up having to move those cars. I do believe we are going to get ready to come back to green here right now. That's going to throw a complete and entire challenge for some of these drivers, because pretty much at the time we went to that double yellow, there was about 40 cars on pit road. When over a 60 car field takes to the track right here, and they all hit it at the same time, it does cause a little confusion and a lot of back and forth trying to get in and get your teams done. But most of those during this double yellow, they completed that 5 minute. Now we have a lot of drivers right now that still has yet to pit at all, and so what that does is that puts them back in the positions where they're going to have to pit, right? So the strategy kind of goes out the window. A lot of these teams place their strategy on, okay, we can expect at least one full course caution, but we need it to happen during this time frame in order to make it to the end so that we know we can get it done. There just seem to be teams of just missing, either missing the opportunity during that time or just weren't aware of when to pit and was going off a clock.
Yeah, and, some of the guys might just decide, okay, I'm still out in front. I haven't made my stop yet. I'll keep going a little longer, because who knows? Keep the cars a lap down that you'd be competing with, and then hit it later, as opposed to immediately coming in and be like, okay, and then give me time to come back up through the field, which is what pretty much everybody that took a pit stop is going to have to do.
Right.
So that's the way the ball bounces in this endurance racing game. And I know I said this yesterday, it's as much of a head game as anything in racing.
Yeah, and listen, the attrition rate has not been very high. Again, we've got just right around, just under 38 minutes. So these drivers are going to have, 28 minutes. They've got to get it in. I would not be surprised once we go green, some of these drivers take the green flag lap, as it looks like we're getting ready to go green flag racing right now. And it does look like green flag is in the air. So here comes our leaders now. It looks like Charles Liu is going to be the leader along with Claudio Kemp again and Franklin Prey a little bit further back. He's got a couple lap cars in between, in between them and the leaders. Again, none of those drivers have pitted. Eric Yortsoy has not pitted. Matt DiStefano has not pitted. Yuri Masinov hasn't pitted. Sam Mamano, Tim Lambie, Wally Chetty. Look for those drivers to start moving and start making their way maybe 1 or 2 laps into this run here before they do it. Tell you what, Josh, as we're watching the action right here, let me kind of give you where the rundown is right now. We know it's going to change. Let me give you the rundown of the top 3 kind of by class that we have right now to kind of just reach that and level set the entire field. In our H class, Ryan McGrath leading in that 77. Terrence Judge second in the 159. Brian Charters and Van Svensson in that 941. Now they're 3 laps down, but our top drivers have yet to pit. Franklin Prey in the J class, only driver. Jay Salvador in SP1 in that 55 machine, only driver in that class. GT3, Charles Liu, one of our early leaders and still one of our early leaders, over Stephen Garrison in that 127. In the F class, Richard Bennett in the 83, Stu Jenkins in the 99. That's your top 2. In Spec Cayman, Eric Yortsoy is leading Matt DiStefano and Yuri Masinov, along with Tim Lambie, Wally Chetty, Michael Venable, and Scott Gill, who we saw had that incident earlier on. I do believe he is back out on the racetrack running around, so nothing didn't seem to be too bad there. We look in the I class, Sam Mamano, the only driver. In ME1, that's 78, Gene Raimondi. And Josh, you got to see that up close last night, leading over Christopher Fay in the 353. Those 2 drivers have been back and forth all weekend long, along with Frank Osborne in the 313. In our 911 Cup, we've had some attrition there early on in this race, but right now Alex Farragut in that 229 machine is leading over Nate DeSantos in the 08, then Donald Anger. We have seen Donald Anger on pit road already, so he has completed his pit stop, as the front 2 have not. Patrick Burnett in that 69 machine has had problems off and on the entire race. So that driver, again, right now 5 laps down from the leader in the 911 Cup. In SP2, William Johnson is leading over Joe Dillon. We look at SP3, Gary Stanberry in that 968 is leading by a lap right now over Ken Agnall in that 75, and then Greg Rochick. Those 2 drivers have made the pit stop. I do not believe Gary Stanberry has made his pit stop. In G class, 992 of Mary Schindler leading over Doug Crossman in that 921, and then Jordan Simon. Crossman, Simon, and Michael Gershon already out of this race. Those 2 drivers have pitted. I do not believe Mary Schindler has pitted yet, looking at the number of laps completed. In GT5, Richard Glickel, only driver there. Claudio Kemp, our only driver in GT4 in that 66 machine. In Spec Boxster, here's where it really gets kind of crazy here, Josh. In Spec Boxster, we have 19 drivers that took the green flag out running today. I know we have some that are kind of off the pace a little bit. 79, Alex Owl leading right now over the 03 of Hoyt Amidon. And then the 409 of Kevin Abernin, along with Kevin Hansel in that 221. A lot of our other drivers, Robbie Wilson, Sean O'Brien, Hunt McMahon, Ryan Farragut, Lawson Wilder, those drivers, Noah Mazzola, those drivers who are always up in the front in this Enduro, they've already pitted. The front guys, Alex Owl has also pitted, I believe, in there. So we'll have to see where he is, where it comes out. But he is right now leading that class. But I do believe that as the time winds down, those other drivers should be able to overtake him through pit stop.
Yeah, certainly. And I'm hearing over the corner working it sounds like Gene Raimondi might have run afoul something because he is being black flagged out there.
Well, it could be that he's being black flagged because he did not complete the 5-minute time, and when he came in, didn't, again, it goes from start to finish. Once you cross the start-finish line till the end of the pit road, if you come in and you sit and you declare that that's your 5 minutes, and then you go back out and it's not within that 5 minutes, they're going to be black flag. We'll take a look at the black flag station. Once he gets that black flag, he'll get that acknowledgement, and then we'll see. Looking down on pit road right now, here comes Sam Mamano in that 4 machine. Again, Sam, I think, is the only driver, as I mentioned, there in the I-Class, so not racing against everybody. Here comes Robbie Wilson in the 029. So it looks like he is just now getting, he is already pitted, and he had to do a drive-through penalty. So that is going to hurt Robbie Wilson. So he did make his pit stop, Josh.
Yep, and I want to correct myself. It was the 029, not Gene Ramundi. Sorry, Gene Ramundi fans.
Okay. Which means Robbie Wilson did not complete the 5 minutes because, as we talked about, come right down to the black flag station, come in there, you see that gentleman, and he waves them on. That means he was just a couple seconds short of that 5-minute pit stop.
Yep, and they call that the pit road delta in big things. And we, in the group that I have crewed on, you have to have a mandatory 3-minute pit stop. Several weekends ago, we managed to do 3:01s. So there's a fine line. You've got to tap dance to do this. But let's go back to the racing action here.
Yeah, I wanted to pick up, if we could, I wanted to pick up that Spec Cayman class because this is 2 drivers, actually 3 drivers, that have not pitted yet, and have been kind of nose to tail the entire event. And it is the 690 of Yuri Marcinov in a gray Cayman with Eric Yortsoy in the 321, the white and the blue, and then Matt DiStefano in the 93. They have been within less than half a second of each other and kind of in and on as here comes our overall leaders now on pit road with Charles Liu and the 66 there, Claudio Kemp, so them getting their pit stops done. But these 3 drivers, again, in Spec Cayman, have been close to each other the entire race right now, and neither one of those drivers have pitted. Neither has Tim Lampy in there. Wally Chetty in the 147, I do believe, has pitted. So, again, when those 3 drivers come in, and we'll keep an eye out for them here out the window when they go by. Once those drivers come in, that's going to open up the door for Wally Chetty, and we'll have to see whether or not all 4 of those drivers in that Spec Cayman class come in together.
Yeah, which would make sense that they would come together, because if they're all racing each other, well, you all know what's going to happen while you're watching the other guys pit, because you have to pay attention not only to your pit stops, but your other guys to hopefully get an advantage.
Well, we're coming down here to the end before the pits will be officially closed. I mean, we've got just under 19 minutes for them to do it. And looking at our timing and scoring, all 4 of those drivers have completed 18 laps. And then you don't get down to Wally Chetty, as I talked about in the 147. He's only completed 16 laps. I do know that Wally was on pit road as Claudio Kemp is out putting fuel in his car, so another driver taking fuel. But let's see if we can't find out where those drivers are on track in that Spec Cayman class, because it's been a pretty good battle the entire race right now. Maybe I don't believe that they're in here. I don't see the 321 of Yortsoy in that group. So we'll continue to keep looking for them throughout the cameras. But, Josh, there's, again, a lot of drivers still haven't pitted. Mary Schindler in the G-Class hasn't pitted yet. Alex Farragut, Nate DeSantos hasn't pitted yet. So they're going to need to. Charles Liu, we saw, just came down pit road. So he's on there in that GT3 class. I don't believe neither has Steven Gerritsen pitted. I don't believe John Dunsky actually went out for that. So and we've got some other cars. Richard Glicko in the 48, I believe his day is done as well. Ryan McGrath, I haven't seen him down on pit road yet either Terrence Judge has pitted. That's in H class. So again, we're starting to see where strategies are really getting in. I believe that is the Eric Yortsoy car that is just now going through turn number 10. Right there, the white machine. I'll be able to tell once we come through into the cameras. I believe that may be Yortsoy. No, that's the 771 machine. So keep an eye out. We got more cars coming, leaving down pit road, which, you know, Josh, adds another element to this. When drivers are coming off pit road and cars are coming in through there, it causes some challenges as well.
Yeah, we might, you know, the last thing we want to see is a driver violate what's known as the blend line, come out in front of race cars that are going at full speed, just as you're getting up to things, because bad things happen when that does. But, you know, the warmest day, the tires should still be a little warm unless somebody had to make a tire change, which I don't think we'll see in this race, but I definitely think we might see it in the next race.
Yeah, I think in the next one you'll definitely see some drivers make some tire changes throughout as we get going. But again, we're starting to wind down at just about just under 27 minutes left here in this race, and you can see here a pretty good battle. This is a lot of intermixing of classes we've been talking about. Now that drivers have made those pit stops, we got another car on pit road right now coming down into our black flag station. So we'll have to see whether or not that driver did not complete it, or there was probably an incident on track. We'll pick up that number here in a minute to decide who that is and let you know who that is. It is one of our. It is the 55 machine. Is that what I'm being told here? So that could be.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, that would be Jay Salvador right there. So again, staying there. So evidently did not complete enough time on that pit stop. Ryan McGrath now on pit lane, you know, in that 77 machine. So again, he was running 6th overall. So that's where he's going to drop through. But we go back here to the action. You've got Alex All in there as well in that number 79, kind of through that entire group. And again, Sam Mamano going around. Then you've got the 42 machine in there. That's a lot of spec boxers in there as well. That's Tim Nagy in that 42 machine. That looks like the kind of the Partridge Family bus livery that Tim Nagy is doing. That's the one right there. The gray, the blue, the green, the red. I think there's every car in there but fuchsia from what I see.
Yeah, definitely a memorable. Well, you have to paint something that your crew will recognize.
Well, I think Tim's just got parts over parts that are on that car in that spec boxer, so it's just a matter of getting those parts. Again, another a lot of cars coming down on pit road. So again, you talk about you know, the 78 machine there on pit road as well, Gene Raimondi. So him going through his 5 minutes. So again, strategy playing down towards the end through these. So.
Well, I'm hearing over the net now that the 26 machine has pulled off course at turn 7. All 4 in the grass. Doesn't sound like we'll go for yellow on that one, but you never know. He might be in an impact zone.
Yeah.
And it sounds like we got a new leader, the 321 of Eric Husterich.
Well, that's actually Eric Yortsoy. And Eric Yortsoy has not pitted yet. So Eric is going to take this all the way down to the very end before he needs to pit in that spec Cayman. And again, he's bringing Matt DiStefano and Yuri Matsinov in there as well. So again, those front 3 drivers, we'll look to see where they are. But I tell you what, this is where it's going to be towards the end. We've got Franklin Prey on pit road as well right now. So Franklin taking his thing. Alex Al on pit road in that 79 machine. So where he was mixed in with all those other spec boxers. And here comes a flurry of more cars on pit lane going through. But I want to keep an eye out for Eric Yortsoy in that white and blue number 321. And let's see when he's going to decide to come down pit road right now and see where he may be. keep looking out for him and that group. But that's going to be the group that is going to not only pick, look for the overall, but is definitely going to look at trying to win that Spec Cayman. Again, all three of those drivers will probably come in at the exact same time, I believe, on the racetrack.
Keep looking out for him here. And this is, like I said before, this is the long strategy that they're playing, and hopefully they have it timed just right.
Well, again, those drivers don't need to take fuel. They should be able to go the entire race without fuel before that. As we're starting to wind down a little bit, I tell you what, let's make a first call to the grid for our purple group here with about 20 minutes left to go in this race. Attention in the paddock, purple group to the grid please for your 75-minute enduro race. Purple group, this is your first call to the grid for your 75-minute enduro race. So again, keeping an eye out, and I don't see Eric Yortsoy or any of those cars, and they just went by the start-finish line a couple seconds ago. So it should be kind of maybe even up near turn number 5 in that white 321. And again, Franklin Prey still sitting on pit road for his. He would be the next car out at that time. Our early leaders from before will start to make their way through there. Ryan McGrath leaving pit road now, coming through. Good side-by-side action going down into turn number 1 there, Josh. Moment again, cars will start to filter themselves back in as they come on pit road and get a lap or two, because these tires are going to start to cool off.
Yeah, and the merge, it's always nice. Yeah, there's a nice pack there going up the S's. Going down the back straightaway now. It's 2x2 going down. It's like the two boxers there are ahead of that red, what appears to be a 944, but I could be wrong. Could be a 968, which has brought up into 4th there. Nice little battle pack there as we continue to look for the 321. And he should be getting close to coming around the start-finish line now, at least according to my timing and scoring app here, Race Monitor.
Yeah, we'll have to look and see where Eric is. I see that Yuri Marcinov has actually pitted in there. There goes Eric Yortsoy past the start-finish line right now. So he's now heading down into turn number 1. That is going to be the second car, actually going to be the first car in line right there. So we'll keep an eye. Di Stefano is the one just went through turn 1. So those two looking like they're going to stay together this entire time through there. I do believe that the 690 machine, Yuri, I believe they're on pit road right now, because they have not crossed the start-finish line in a couple of laps right now, and it's putting them officially 2 laps down through there. So again, with about 9 minutes left to go here, Josh, before the pit road officially closes, those two drivers in that Spec Cayman going to have to look to come down pit road as Eric Yortsoy starts to open up over that number 93 of Matt Di Stefano in there. So we'll have to see if he does pit this time, knowing he's got that gap.
Yeah, and here comes Steve Garrison now to his crew for his pit stop. So that'll drop him from 3rd position. It's a nice battle there. See faster cars trying to get around, going up into the top of the boot there. Whole gaggle. I think that's Sam Mamano in one of the in that blue car there. We'll see in a second. Yes, that is Sam Mamano that just went out of screen there. But as we said yesterday, there are battles throughout every race. here at the Porsche Clash.
Yeah. Got the 147 back down on pit road that's Waleed Chetty. So again, we were talking about Waleed in the in that Spec Cayman class when our front two drivers hadn't made their pit stop yet. He ended up not completing the full 5 minutes, had to come down and do a stop and go. So that's going to actually open that up a little bit more through there. So again, some of these drivers on pit road, Franklin Perret still sitting there. He should be getting ready to wrap up his 5-minute pit stop. It's been a long 5 minutes, and Josh, it is very long when you're sitting there for 5 minutes looking at a stopwatch, trying to make sure whether or not your time is up, because you don't want to get penalized, while you're sitting there if you've got a shot at the lead within your class.
Yeah, and unfortunately, fans of Van Svensson, myself included, I'll have to disappoint you because it sounds like his car is dumping fuel.
Oh.
And has been for a bit, and it has not cleared up since the pit stop. So they are unfortunately working a meatball on Van
Okay.
this one. So that's going to take him out of competition.
I was just getting ready to say, why don't we go take a look at that car and see where it is. There it is right there, getting ready to come up and head down into turn number 8. We'll see whether or not Van brings that car down on pit road to the attention of the crew to see what is happening. Maybe somebody left a cap off, or it just got some other type of a leak there.
Yeah, and they're calling him around. So.
Yep, there it is, getting the meatball flag right there as he comes through. A little wave out the window there, so he does see the meatball flag, so he will come to the attention of his crew. So unfortunately for Van, this is going to be not something he's going to like to see.
No, most certainly not. But Van is a very smart driver. He won't try and fight this. I'm sure his crew has been on the mic already to him saying, hey, we're getting black flagged here, bring it down. And here comes our overall leader, Eric, in the 321, and behind him is the 93. So that's DiStefano behind him.
So they did pit together through there. So that is going to be working together for that. So keep an eye out on that to see. If we can, let's look at let's try to find our Spec Boxster leaders. So right now in the 441, our black and kind of gray, Sean O'Brien with Hunt McMahon in the silver, green, and black Boxster, along with Tim Nagy. And Tim Nagy's not going to be hard to spot because that's the one that's painted like the Partridge Family bus with all of the different colors on there on that 42 machine. They are within tenths of each other. So they may be coming through right now. If I look at it, could be coming on the back side of this racetrack, maybe coming up through turn number out of turn number 10 or 9. Yeah, here they come. They're coming out of going into turn number 11 right now, if we can. Tim Nagy there a little bit further back from Sean O'Brien and Hunt McMahon coming through there, maybe a little bit ahead of that shot. They're right now crossing the start-finish line, headed down. So Sean O'Brien in the green and the gray, they're going to be behind these two cars right there. There you see, that's the Tim Nagy machine, just a little bit further back from Hunt McMahon. So again, a really good Spec Boxster lead coming in. O'Brien's got about a second lead, but then Tim Nagy right on the back bumper there of the 611 of Hunt McMahon. That's the battle for second and third. And then Robbie Wilson about 5 seconds back from this. Robbie Wilson has been pretty quick, putting about 4 seconds a lap faster than those three. So with about 13 and a half minutes left to go, Josh, keep an eye out for Robbie Wilson in that 029. If he's clocking 4 seconds faster, again, this Spec Boxster race is going to come down to the last couple of minutes.
Oh yeah, and that's why we like Spec Racing. For all the people that don't particularly like it, it's always a close race no matter what. as you know, we try to follow that whole pack between O'Brien, McMahon, and there's the Partridge family right there. Looks like he's having to hold off the 78 there.
And there goes Robbie Wilson right there. So Robbie Wilson closing that gap even further, to try to move up. He's going to have to battle. Getting to Tim Nagy, getting to Hunt McMahon, that's going to be within the next lap and a half. Getting back up to Sean O'Brien in this Spec Boxer Classic, making a pass there, that is where it's going to be tough. There's Robbie Wilson right there, and there's the other groups as they head up out of getting ready to go into turn number 9, come through the short chute to 10.
Had a good look there. Looked like the Partridge family was going to go to at least the inside there, so we can, let's watch it as they go down into turn number 1. See if they can get a run. Definitely third and fourth in that battle. We're looking at each other to possibly make a move. We'll see if they can make it this time by, because they're running out of time, Brian.
Yeah. And unfortunately, you've got Alex Au in front of them along with Lawson Wilder. That's not for the battle for the position on the racetrack. Both of those drivers are a full lap down from the leaders in the Spec Boxer class right now. So, again, Robbie Wilson in fourth, trying to work on to get a Tim Nagy. There goes Nagy there. There's Wilson. He has to get around both Alex Au and Lawson Wilder, and that's not going to, not Lawson Wilder, that's the 5 of Noah Mazzola just a little bit further back. That's not going to be an easy feat because both of those drivers were pretty quick in the Spec Boxer, and we saw Noah up front yesterday as Van Swenson comes down pit road now to serve that meatball flag with the potentially dumping of the fuel. So I have to take a look at that with his crew. But here they come. There goes Nagy. There goes Hunt McMahon. And Hunt McMahon, last time by, Josh, set his fastest lap of the race. So again, Hunt McMahon knowing it's time to go in Spec Boxer.
Oh yeah, and that time was a 2:13.994, and he is on it there in the 6:11.
Robbie Wilson making the move on Noah Mazzola. Mazzola letting him go, knowing he's not on that lead lap. So again, as they come up the hill here, getting ready to turn into turn 8, you're going to see Robbie Wilson is going to be right behind Tim Nagy in that 42 machine. I would not be surprised if Nagy starts to put the pressure on Hunt McMahon right there, as you saw, guys, as you were pointing to the screen. Tim Nagy sees Robbie Wilson coming up behind him now.
Yeah, and that's definitely put the spurs to him there to try and get around Sean O'Brien.
Tell you what, Josh, with about 10 minutes left to go in this race, 10 and a half minutes, let's make our second call to the grid. Attention in the paddock, second call, Purple Group. Second call, Purple Group. To the grid, please, for your 75-minute enduro rules. Second call, Purple Group. To the grid, please.
Welcome back here, Porsche Clash, and we are still watching that Spec Boxer race, and it's now a 3-car train, so it looks like Tim Nagy has caught the back up, and looks like he's going to try and make a move coming up into the S's.
That's going to be Robbie Wilson. You're right, Josh. Robbie Wilson looks like he tried to make a move there on Tim Nagy, who was right there behind Hunt McMahon. The driver that's liking this, when he looks in his rearview mirror, is the 441 of Sean O'Brien. You can see here, he's pulled out by about 3-4 car lengths now, and now it looks like Tim Nagy's going to move drivers right, and Robbie Wilson's going to move drivers left, and Robbie Wilson's going to move drivers right. Oh, and it looks like Tim Nagy has missed the entrance into turn number 5, into the bus stop, so now he is going to have to come to a complete stop before rolling, Josh. That just throws everything out the window, unfortunately, for Tim Nagy. Or it looks like he just pulled in there and stopped, so maybe he has a problem.
Yeah, I was wondering, like you, Brian, whether that meant that he
He is rolling again.
Like he had bailed out. It's like, oh, this isn't going to work, or I'm going to have contact. And as we know, PCA is all about safe racing, but the battle is still on. Looks like Nagy now
Actually, Nagy's going to be back, so that's actually going to be Hunt McMahon, Robbie Wilson. Robbie Wilson and McMahon, they're starting to catch Sean O'Brien in that 441. There is Sean O'Brien, or no, that's not Sean O'Brien. They're coming up over the hill. That first car there, that's going to be Sean O'Brien. right there. Then you're going to have a little bit further back. That's Robbie Wilson. He's made the pass on Hunt McMahon going into turn number 8. So now Sean O'Brien, he's got to worry and look in his rear view mirror, because here comes Robbie Wilson.
Oh, yeah. And it sounds like somebody dumped some oil out in the inner loop, and it looked like, as we went to that camera shot, that it was Van Sventon's car with just under 8 minutes there.
There's another car going and missing the entrance into the bus stop. We'll see whether or not who that is. That looks like that may be the, that's another spec boxer right there in there. So we'll see. So again, these drivers having all kinds of issues as we get to the end of this race here with these spec boxers. Seems like they're not able to make that turn through the bus stop.
Is that them here coming in first? No, that's not them.
That first car right there, that's San Mamano, so they should already be past that through there. Coming through. So again, spec boxers having a problem at the end with just right around that 7-minute mark, having a problem getting through into the bus stop. I did not see Tim Nagy come down pit road at all, so evidently that was just more of a missed opportunity to get through there. There they go. They're coming right now through turn number 5. That's Sean O'Brien in the 441 with Robbie Wilson right on that back bumper, headed down in there, putting a lot of pressure down into the laces of the boot there, Josh.
This is going to get real interesting real quickly as they go down into the laces. Because you could cover, well, he's going a little bit wide, going left, right, they're jinking, and looks like Wilson's going to try on the outside of the toe. And we'll see when they get to the heel who's out in front there. But, you know, with 6 minutes left, all this pressure, and now add a possibility of oil in the inner loop, that's definitely going to make this last 6 minutes interesting here.
Yeah.
And it looks like Wilson, I think, got through there, Brian.
Yeah, I think Robbie Wilson was able to make that pass on Sean O'Brien there. So move Robbie Wilson up into the lead right now in that spec boxer. And there you can see it right there coming out of turn 9. So he's opened it up with Hunt McMahon really trying to come back and put the pressure on Sean O'Brien in that 441 machine. If we look back at some of our other groups right now in that 911 group, I kind of wanted to look at that. Donald Anger, he's got about a full lap. He just now went to past the start-finish line over Alex Farragut. So again, looks like Donald Anger may end up picking up the win there. Still got plenty of time left. Pits are officially closed, so if you come in now, it has to be for something. And I do believe that we did have a problem on the 777 Franklin Prey here, Josh, who is still sitting down on pit road. I did see them put some oil dry. I believe Franklin may still be in the car. But that car looks like it's having, maybe had a problem. That could be where the oil came from because he never went back out after he came in for his pit stop.
And I'm hearing that it's going to be 1 to go next lap by. And the oil, I think, 1 to go next time by, excuse me. And I think that the oil actually came from Van Sventon's car, judging from, dumping earlier and then now reports and having him sitting by the side of the road there. But we'll see how that boxer battle is shaping up.
Well, we do have that debris flag hanging out there, right as you get down into the bus stop. So obviously that is going to be where, that problem is. But we'll be looking for that 1 to go. They'll be giving that to the 921 there of Doug Crossman in that G-Class. He is your overall leader. Ken Agnall in that number 75 machine. He is your leader in SP3. Claudio Kemp sitting in 3rd overall, but leading GT4. Eric Yortsoy still leading that Spec Cayman class. Got about a second now to a second and a half over that 93 of Matt DiStefano. And then a little bit further back in 6th overall is your GT3 leader. That's Charles Liu. That is your, that's your top 6 overall. So we'll be looking to see whether or not they get that 1 to go to Doug Crossman. I've not seen the starter do it as of yet. but we will listen for it. I believe they're coming out of turn number 11 now, headed down, and there it is, crossing the start-finish line. So we are going to do one more lap to go. Doug Crossman and everybody else behind, so we'll have to keep an eye on these battles, especially on that battle for Spec Boxster, as there goes Robbie Wilson. There is, I believe that is going to be Sean O'Brien and then Hunt McMahon. That is the battle for second and third, going down into turn number 1 and coming up through turn number 2. So again, these battles are going to close the gap a little bit more.
It looks like McMahon is closing there, bringing up on Sean O'Brien as he did go down the back straightaway. I was right. He is trying to go fade a little bit to the left and see if outbrake him. No, tucks in behind as he goes through the loop. See if he can get a better run off. Gets a little bit more momentum. We'll see how it handles the carousel here. Hangs it nice and tight all over the back of O'Brien. There is Wilson, or yeah, McMahon, excuse me.
Well, I tell you what there, Josh, it is going to be come down. They may end up getting one more lap to go, depending on where Doug Grossman is, as they head down into the boot right there. It does look like that Hunt McMahon was going to make a move on Sean O'Brien. Again, that's for second in Spec Boxster, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. We'll see whether or not they get one more run. I don't believe Crossman was ahead of them as they came through there. I think he is behind them, so they should have one more lap to settle that battle coming out of there.
Did make the move there. Did McMahon. And it looks like that this is the last lap for them, because the leader is coming down to cross the checkered flag. Right about.
All right, so there it is. So it does look like Doug Crossman is going to battle, going to cross the finish line, win overall. But let's take a look, and it does look like Hunt McMahon. I have not seen Sean O'Brien come by, and maybe I missed him when he came by. Oh, and you know what? It looks like Sean O'Brien has a problem on that 411 car as he crossed the finish line. Josh, you saw it just as well. The door is gone.
Yeah,
it looks, or the door has come open.
Recommended
No.
by either Porsche or Porsche Club of America's safety standards, of which are to a high standard to go racing here, because as you know, Porsche Club is all about safety.
Yeah, that just seemed odd when he came by the window here for that. So again, that seemed really odd. I tell you what, before we give the rundown here as the rest of our cars come through and take the checker flag, let's make one final call to the grid for our purple group. Attention in the paddock, attention in the paddock. Final call, purple group for your 75-minute enduro. Purple group, last call for your 75-minute enduro. If you're not on grid, you may want to start making your way there pretty quickly. We're about ready to go racing here as soon as this race is finished. All right, Josh, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead. It seems like most of the cars, we still got quite a bit that are coming through. I don't believe it's going to change as we saw yesterday in some of these. Let's go ahead and start giving the rundown here, and then we'll take a quick break and get to our purple group for their race. Again, can't thank Hankook for presenting this 75-minute enduro for our orange group. It turned out to be a fantastic race all the way around with a lot of strategies. Starting with our H group, Ryan McNabb looks like he's going to pick up that win over Terrence Judge by about 7 seconds. Then you're going to go a little bit further back, Brian Charters and Van Swenson, who had that problem, going to finish third in H. Franklin Prey, even though Franklin's still sitting down on pit road, looks like he's going to pick up the win in that J class. In SP1, Jay Salvador in that number 55, we saw him on pit road quite a bit towards the back half of this race. In GT3, Charles Liu in that 079 machine going to pick up the win over the 127 of Stephen Garrison. In our F class, Richard Bennett is going to pick up the win over the 99 of Stu Jenkins. Inspect Cayman, this is the battle we watched quite a bit. Eric Yortsoy looks like he's going to pick up that win in the 321 with the 93 of Matt DiStefano is going to finish second. Yuri Masanov's going to finish in the third position in that 690. As we look a little bit further down in our I-Class, Sam Amano, the only driver in that, is going to pick up the win there. Christopher Fay, who had a problem yesterday mid-morning in that first race in that 353 with that incident down in turn 9. Looks like he's going to pick up the win in ME1 with Frank Osborne in the 313, going to be second. Gene Raimondi, unfortunately, is going to finish third in that 78 as he was running in the top 2 positions pretty much through the rest of early on in this race. In our 911 Cup, the 50 of Donald Anger picks up the win, pretty much a sweep. A 911 Cup this weekend for Donald Anger. Alex Farragut going to come home in second place in that 229 with Nate DeSantos finishing third. Patrick Pernett, Lee Lasberg, and Eugene Basha all having problems during the race there, Josh. So again, attrition fell within that group. In SP2, Joe Dillon in that 521 is going to pick up that win over William Johnson, and I believe William had a problem early on in this race. In SP3, Ken Agnew is going to pick up the win over Greg Rochick in that 320 machine, and again, the 07 Will Waldron is going to finish third with Gary Stanberry finishing fourth, John Patton fifth. In our G class, and our overall winner, Doug Crossman, in that 921 is going to win by about 2 minutes over the 54 of Jordan Simon, and then the 992 of Mary Schindler. So Mary Schindler picking up the last podium spot. Michael Gershon, who started kind of up towards the front here in this race, definitely going to fall back by the way. So he's going to finish fourth, only complete 11 laps. In our GT5, Richard Glickel, he's going to be our only racer there. Claudio Kemp going to finish 66. The 66 of Claudio Kemp's going to win GT4. Inspect Boxster, we followed this toward the end, the biggest group we had in this field here, Josh. Robbie Wilson going to pick up the win there. Hunt McMahon's going to finish second. Sean Dorless O'Brien, I'm going to what his new nickname. I like to give racers nicknames. In that 441 is going to finish in third place, last podium spot. Daniel Rubel in that 771 is going to pick up fourth. Tim Nagy, who was in that battle early on and late for really kind of the overall win there. Inspect Boxster having that problem, missing the turn 5 into the bus stop. That's going to derail his chances there. He's going to finish fifth. Ryan Farragut finishing sixth. Lawson Wilder in that 16 machine going to finish seventh. So Josh, that is going to wrap up our orange group enduro. We're going to go ahead and take a break. Going to thank some partners and sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to take our purple group here, and we're going to go 75 minutes with them. You're watching the 2025 Porsche Clash at the Glen here at Watkins Glen International. We'll be right back.
A household name in U.S. road racing for nearly 25 years, Toyo Tires has forged a reputation for winning, performance, and consistency. From the company's legendary Proxys RA1 to the two-groove Proxys RR, they have a history of getting drivers to the winner's circle. Their quality and performance extends beyond the track, offering owners a full line of premium tires for coupes to Cayennes. They are proud to build many of the tires right here in the United States at their state-of-the-art factory in Bartow County, Georgia. We thank them for their support of Porsche Club of America through club racing and the high-performance driver education program. Be sure to check out their contingency program if you race SP1 or Spec Boxster. To learn more about the full line of Toyo tires, visit www.toyotires.com.
Stable Energies takes pride in offering racers the very best in motorsport performance and safety equipment since 1978. Owner Bob Kikasik has been a PCA member for over 35 years and started club racing with PCA during its very first season. Located in northern New Jersey, Stable Energy stocks a wide variety of racing gear and motorsport products from top quality brands like O&P, Alpine Stars, Bell, Hans, Schroth, Paget, and Bray Kraus. Stable Energies is a master distributor for Recaro and the U.S. importer for safety devices roll cages, as well as the Eastern U.S. distributor for RSS Porsche Performance parts. You can shop with Stable Energies on their website, stableenergies.com. You can call and speak to a knowledgeable salesperson. They're happy to answer any of your questions. Or you can have one-on-one personal attention at their retail location just 10 minutes from New York City. PCA members receive special deals, so be sure to mention PCA Club Racing. Whether your fire system needs to be serviced, you need advice about a new race seater radio system, or you want to try on the coolest looking new driver suits, Stable Energies has yet covered.
Motion Control Suspension, or MCS, has proven to be the evolution of premium motorsports damper systems. Their team is continuously developing and refining damper technology that is vastly different from other manufacturers, developed through hands-on involvement in GT and touring car racing. While their roots are in the highest levels of professional sports car racing, their products excel in all environments, from enthusiastic street driving to autocross track days to club racing and far beyond. MCS is much more than just a great product. They have many years of practical racing experience both on and off the track, extensive knowledge of vehicle dynamics, and an understanding of driver expectations and needs. MCS is proud to be a sponsor of Porsche Club Racing and invites you to lean on their expertise for setup support and consultation. Experience the ultimate celebration of Porsche passion at the annual PCA Parade. This week-long extravaganza from July 6th to the 12th is a must-attend event for Porsche enthusiasts of all ages, offering a perfect blend of social, competitive, and educational activities. From the Concours d'Elegance to the autocross, to the scenic driving tours, to the tech sessions, to the banquets, to the social events, there's something for everyone. Whether you're a seasoned collector, a weekend racer, or simply love the brand, the PCA Parade is your chance to immerse yourself in a community that shares your passion. Set in Oklahoma City this year, a central location in the United States right along historic Route 66, join us for an unforgettable celebration of everything Porsche. Whether you're polishing your car for the concourse, taking on the autocross course, or joining a scenic driving tour, the PCA Parade promises memories that will last a lifetime. Secure your spot today and join us for a week of excitement, connection, and all things Porsche. To learn more and register, please visit PorscheParade.org.
The United States Roofing Company is the primary source for all roofing needs. They have unparalleled experience installing, maintaining, inspecting, and repairing every type of roofing and waterproofing system. They work on buildings of any size and any height, from small local roof projects to some of the largest roofing projects in the Mid-Atlantic region, including the Pennsylvania Convention Center and the Jacob K. Javits Convention Center in New York City. Every type of roof and project is within their capabilities. They offer world-class design and consulting services for all types of roof projects, including solar and green roofs. USRC is known for completing projects on time, within budget, and to the complete satisfaction of our customers. Learn more at usroofing.com.
Kelly Moss is your destination for all things Porsche: championship racing, driver development and training programs, custom builds, and lifestyle offerings. If your passion is Porsche, visit kellymoss.com.
Welcome back to 2025 Porsche Clash at the Glen. I'm Brian Donati along with Josh Ashby. And Josh, this is it. This is the second enduro of the day. We saw a really, really good ending to our orange enduro. Now we're going to go to our purple, which is, cars of, a little bit faster, a little bit more horsepower. These are going to be, kind of our GT cars, our GTDs, GTAs, and our GTCs, a whole host of those. So again, this is our GT class. This is going to be, a fantastic race here. And again, thank you for Pirelli coming on and presenting this group here as we run down. Let's go ahead and give kind of the starting lineup. We're going to run down the top 30, and you can see on your screen these guys, and we saw this yesterday. This group here takes a lot of time and really works to get a lot of heat in these tires. So we've got a couple minutes here. Let's go ahead and we'll run down the top 30 here in our class. Right now we're scheduled to have 57 drivers go out, but we'll give you the top 30 and then we'll pick up some of those other drivers as we go. Starting on the pole with time 1:49.612, and I believe this was set yesterday afternoon in the 91 there with Rene Robichaud. Marco Chiron is going to be starting in second in the 184, and Marco had a lot of problems yesterday, and I do believe they may have switched drivers yesterday in that second race. Starting third inside row 2, that's going to be John Getz, and he'll be in the 57. Starting fourth in that 181 machine, that's going to be Richard Edge. Starting in fifth, and we're going to go on board here in a little bit as we get going through this race. In the fifth position, starting inside row 3, that's going to be 120 of Belastenko Jr. Starting in the sixth position, that's going to be the 207. That's going to be Joel Johnson. Good to see Joel back. I know he had an incident early on yesterday morning in the first race for this group. In that number 207, but it looks like they got it out. I did see him out in warm-ups this morning. Starting in the seventh position, inside row 4, that's going to be 262 of Joseph Viola. Russell Farhang is going to start 8th, and he's going to be in the 412. Jeffrey Isringhausen Jr. in the 81 is going to start 9th with Philip Leisha in the 10th position in that number 3 machine. Anthony Lalapes in that 058 is going to start in the 11th position with Cliff Kerr in that 008. He's going to start 12th. Starting 13th is the 64 of Dwayne Moses. Sean McKeag in the 34. He's going to start 14th. Richard White is going to start 15th in the 97. Jeff Smith's going to start 16th in that 924, while Masufov Garifov in that 288 is going to start in the 17th. David DeCote is going to start 18th in that number 6 machine, while Rafael Alpes in the 020 is going to start 19th with Mark Calzaretta in the number 17 going to start 20th. In the 21st position, that's going to be Scott Diger in that 234, while Remy Faird in that 53, he's going to go off 22nd. In the 999, that's Rick Stafford. He's going to start 23rd. And in the 103, in the 24th position, that's going to be TJ Larson. John Boyette Jr. is going to start 25th, and he'll be in the number 11. Wayne DeCote is going to start in the 26th position, and he will be in the 80. In the 751, he's going to start 27th. That will be Chris Dooley, while Jeff Isringhausen is going to start in the 89 machine. He'll roll off 28. Lou Yorio is going to start 29th in that 13 machine, and Jim Nazario is going to start in the 30th position in that 116. As our cars are now starting to roll up through turn number 9 and through turn number 10 again, and Josh, as they get ready to roll up, again, another 75 minutes. This is the same strategy that we talked about in our group before, where pit road is going to be closed for the first 15 minutes and close at 10 minutes left to go in this race. These cars, they will need fuel during their pit stop strategies.
Yeah, most definitely, and they might even need tires, but as we see them coming through turn 11, Brian, let's call the start.
Tell you what, we're waiting for them to come down here. They're going to come underneath the bridge. We're going to wait for our starter to give us that green flag. Again, we're going to start this clock here. We're waiting on them to do the green flag. And there we have it. There's the green flag as our start camera now has been fixed and has come back to life. I guess they had an early breakfast and our cameraman there just didn't want to come back. So we're going to go 2-3 wide right now. Rene Robichaud going to get in front of that, but you've got Marco Chacon, John Getz, Richard Edge, and Belastenko again going to go 3 wide through there. Looks like Bella's going to drop back just a little bit, not being able to make that stick. So it's going to be a lot of nip and tuck going through there, Josh. But I tell you what, it's going to be one heck of a race here.
Yeah, the start already was a little exciting. I could have sworn I saw 4 wide going into one, and I'm thinking that's not going to work, fellas, but they got it all down to 2, and even single file going up through the S's, as we're now single file as we go out of the inner loop down through the carousel. So far, as we said before, there's going to be a lot of give and take this time. Remember, it is a long race. Well, for these guys, at an hour and 15 minutes. So you can let the tires come up to temp. Let your brakes come up to temp. Let a faster guy through that you think you can get on the other end, because you're not having to be all out all the time like with the sprint race.
Yeah.
But we're still going to see some really fast times.
Yeah, you're going to see in that one, right around that 150-minute mark. I mean, again, we talked about Rene Robichaud getting that 149.612. That time was set, I believe, yesterday afternoon, where that car had that fantastic race, battling early on, kind of pretty much all up front with that car yesterday. So we'll see. I believe that was with the Corey Friedman machine. I'm not seeing Corey Friedman out here today. So again, Corey normally does second drivers in some of these cars. So we'll see which car, if Corey actually does get in one of these cars. I'm not seeing Corey's name on the list at all, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't jump in one of those cars.
And all right, even though it's the first lap, Rene Robichaud has already set a decent time with a 156.267, so right around that 150 mark.
Yeah, pretty good battle. A little bit further back here with Belastenko, and I believe that is Joel Johnson. Remember, we talked about this. Joel Johnson had that problem early yesterday morning in that car down there in turn number 6. So it looks like that car is ready to go and ready to run as he comes up on the back of Belastenko. Again, that is actually not a battle in class. I know it's still early on. Joel Johnson in that GTA 4 class, along with Belastenko in that GTC 7. I've talked about this before. I believe this is Bella's first year in this car, in this class. So again, much improved driver all the way from Sebring all the way up to currently here at Watkins Glen. So good to see Bella out there really running as best as he can in this car.
Yeah, definitely. New cars always seem to take a little bit of time to get together and get to the sweet spot.
I know we didn't get to the rundown here with some of our GTB1 cars. Right now we've got 7 cars in that class that have gone out. Again, Ed Dunn leading right now after the first lap. We've seen Ed do this, a lot in this class. Hadley Boss Fisher as well, Kevin Sear, Keith Fisher, Tim O'Mara in that car along with Peter Haverstad. Those cars really, really equally matched.
Yeah, and an equally matched, and people who have driven with each other before, they know how far to go with each other and always put on a good race. Right, Brian?
Yeah, I tell you what, they're always working together, always really doing it in there. Again, and this is a class that actually comes down to really strategy on these enduros, right? That is a class not only in the sprint because it's a full all-out 30 minutes, but as we get to later on in this race, you'll see where some of these drivers will really pit as late as they can through this. So you'll see that as the race goes on. They're a little bit further back. Ed Dunn just now crossing the start-finish line right there with Hadley Boss Fisher, about 3 seconds back. So Ed Dunn taking the early lead. On a lot of these drivers in this, especially in that GTB1 class, they will sit back and just kind of run through, take care of the equipment. It's about taking care of the equipment for 75 minutes here. So not really in a hurry to push the issue. It won't be until after they make that pit stop, as we go on. Because again, I do believe you're going to see some cars making some tire changes in this group. I see a lot of cars with a lot of tires sitting down there ready to go and ready to get put on. Some drivers, I think they're going to put fresh rubber on as they come through with that pit stop.
Yeah, certainly. But you also have to say that, with the speed of these cars and the way that they're built, you can actually go out and buy some of these classes, some of these cars, and go out and go club racing in whatever sanctioning body you want, which, and get some good camaraderie of driving. But that, like you said, the GTB1 battle is definitely going to be full strat. And, there's a phrase about running to a number. So you just hit, consistently a certain lap time. Don't push it too hard until later on. That's hopefully we'll see with some of these cars, Brian.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're 100% correct there. I think you're going to see where, the strategy is really going to come into play in this. And Josh, one of the things I'm going to say right off the bat, about this, I'm going to go out on a limb. I bet you Porsche wins this Enduro.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And I'm almost willing to bet that there will be 4 tires on it.
Well,
I'll bet you. Well,
let's not count our chickens there, but let's just say
we did just have a car cross the finish line with one door. So yeah, maybe I should just shut up about that. Let's just say it this way: has an engine in it.
Yeah.
Functional or not, it'll have an engine in it.
Yep. Again, pretty good battle there with Felistenko in that 120 machine, along with Joel Johnson. Again, seems to kind of materialize and kind of stabilize right there with that. Then a little bit further back, Russell Farhang in that 412 machine with Jeffrey Isenhausen Jr. Again, that's a GTC 8 versus a GTC 7. So a lot of battles out on the racetrack right now, but it's not really for Clash. You really have to go all the way back to the Dwayne Moses and the Rafael Lopez machine in the 020. That's 15th and 16th overall. That's a battle in GTC 7. That's kind of the closest battle on the racetrack. Within that, as well as the Philip Lesia in the number 3 and Cliff Kayer in the red, black and gray and white 008 for GT7. A little bit further back in our field here, but again, a lot of drivers just right now taking it as easy as possible, really taking care of the equipment. And this is something that I see a lot as those two drivers head down into turn 1. You see a lot in this group here where they will in turn take care of the equipment as much as possible because they know they're going to come in, they know they're going to refuel the car, and they know they're going to get new tires. So in some of the teams, again, saw some spotters up on the roof here for these teams. They will in turn let them know where they are in front, where they are in back, where they are to their competition, as well as when they can go full out to get through that full cycle.
Yeah, and also, the crews are semi-pro or definitely much more experienced crews. I know because in this group I have a friend who's actually crewing on one of these cars. And, so they'll be able to do faster pit stops. But once again, it's a 5-minute mandatory pit stop.
Right.
That may still sound like forever for fans, but trust me, fitting everything you need to do into that much of a window when you're not a pro that's doing it every weekend, it's going to take a little bit more time.
Yep. We talked about this when I was, giving the starting lineup with Marco Chiron in that 184 machine. Had some problems pretty much all day yesterday, off and on. That car out here, we're looking out our window. And their crew over there, their crew trying to get as much in the shade as possible. But Marco out there right now sitting in 4th position. I do believe they may have had some transmission problems. He just went by the start and finish line heading down there. It looks like we've got the 181 machine. That's Richard Edge, again, out of the same stable as the Marco Chiron machine. Looks like they may be having some problems because it is just a little bit too early to pit right now. They may be making some tire pressure adjustments, and that does look like they're going up to the left front to make those. So Richard Edge having a problem in that 181, not liking the way that car is handling, Josh, as they come through. We'll see how long he sits there, but it could be that they are pitting a little bit early.
Yeah, right now don't see very much of a rush with the crew, just one guy over the wall just checking tire pressures, and it doesn't look frantic like, oh, we need to get something. So it's either something that they know they can't fix, or they're going to try and burn time. But correct me if I'm wrong, but This is too early for.
Well, no. I
a
mean,
pit
if you
stop.
look at it, we're right around an hour and 4 minutes. So this would be underneath that. I think he came in right at that 11-minute mark. So this could be a strategy through that. So, and yeah, I apologize, Heidi. It is Bela. It's Bela Stanko Jr., not Bella. I keep calling him Bella, but it is Bela, not Bello. And, you know, so I do apologize for Heidi for that. I picked that up even in Sebring earlier on. So,
Well, we're bound to mess up a few names here, and we apologize to all the relatives in advance because, yeah.
all right. So as we look and listen, I believe Richard Ed is doing his 5-minute pit stop. They are looking at the wing. They're making an adjustment right there as well. So again, as we look back here, and we've got some cars that are starting to come in here, and there goes the Joseph Viola machine with Russell Farhang just in front. There was a car getting ready to come down on pit road and flashing of the lights. So again, it looks like some of these drivers, you know, Josh, are starting to make that early. If we can, let's go pick up and find out where Bela Stanko is right now on the racetrack. Maybe we can even go to the in-car because we do believe there is a camera in that car. He's been fighting with Joel Johnson. You can see in the rear view mirror just at the top of the screen, Joel Johnston still hanging in there as they come through the bus stop. Those two drivers have been kind of tucked nose to tail as Bela goes through there. Pretty good handling race car right now here, Josh, coming out of turn number 5 and headed down into the laces of the boot.
Yeah, he just looks like he is on a Sunday drive as goes into that hard braking zone for the laces. Start getting on the power right about now as we go up into the toe. Let's see what line he takes. He takes the tighter line going into the toe there and gets off decently there. Yep, guy ahead of him goes a little bit on the grass, but that's normal at that spot. And up to the heel, another heavy braking, turn in, fade out, a little to the left, go towards the right to set up for the next one, coming up and out, which is an off-camber 90-degree turn of 9. Get that run off and got a little close to our version of Champions Ball there.
And I think he just wiped the
sweat from
wiped
his
his
eyes.
helmet because I think that he literally just wasn't sure. He's coming up on some lap traffic. That is Marco Sirota, the 184, just in front of him, I believe. And I tell you that you know, Joel Johnson just has nothing for him. And Bela, he tends to get deeper on the brake zone in some of these heavier braking spots, especially going down into turn 8, and he's able to close in. But when we get to the front half of this racetrack, that's where Joel Johnston's able to really make his move and get right into the back bumper there, Bela. But then Bela, as they get out of turn 3, turn 4, and up the hill, that's where he starts to stretch it a little bit. I noticed looking in that and then looking right here on this camera. So again, pretty good run out of there. It looks like that car seems to be handling quite well, as it does look like Richard Edge is now off of pit lane and has rejoined the field here for the second half of this race, basically.
Yeah, so early strategy playing out. He didn't add fuel, but he did add a wing adjustment, so we'll see if he can make it the whole way on fuel, of whether he's also running to a number. Of course, some of these drivers here, they can afford driver coaches, which teach things like running to a number, fuel conservation, and also equipment conservation.
If we can, I want to try to, and this is the, you know, kind of coming into here, this is where we're looking at Bela and Joel. I want to try to look and see if we can't find the GTD 3 class, where Remy Faird and Mark Calzaretta, remember Mark Calzaretta picked up the overall win and this and in the GTD3 class yesterday. Remy Faird is in the blue-orange number 53, and Mark Calzaretta is going to be in that blue Cayman number 17. We'll watch for them to come by. Last time by, it was 0.8 of a second, and Remy and Mark had a really good run yesterday. I believe they're probably going to be coming down maybe a little bit further back. They may be coming through. There goes Joseph Viola along with Isringhausen down. They should be getting ready to come up through turn number 10, if not turn number 11 here. Here they come now, I believe. That is Mark Calzaretta in the 17 coming down through turn 11 now and heading down by the start-finish line. So look to pick them up when they come by. Last time it was by, it was 0.8 of a second, and it may be that has opened up a little bit more, and indeed it does, because there's Remy Fair just went by the start-finish line. Calzaretta now is dropping way back in that on this lap here. So Calzaretta not having a good lap there, Josh, as he got kind of stuck in between some of the other cars, and now he's back 5 seconds from that. So Remy Fair using some of the lap traffic that they've come up on already to kind of open up that gap over Mark Calzaretta. And as we get towards where the strategies are for pit stops, look for Remy Fair to open that up and maybe have that time where where he can take that pit stop where it's not really going to hurt him towards the end of this race.
Yeah, and I have to ask actually a correction here, Brian. Now, it was the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes, because they just pulled the pit close sign.
So then I believe Richard Etch did pit a little bit early to make those tire pressure adjustments and that wing adjustment a little bit early. So again, he's going to have to come down on pit road again and serve that 5 minutes once they do it. So yeah, just could be an early pit stop there.
Yep, thank you very much. But yeah, as soon as I heard, it's like, wait a minute here, there's early and then there's way early, and he sounds like he was 15 minutes or 5 minutes early. But still, your top three overall are Rene Robichon, John Getz, and Marco Chiron, followed by Joel Johnson and Bela Stanko.
Bela Stanko, yep. So
thank you.
Joel just actually got around Bela Stanko Jr. in that 120 machine. So again, Joel starting to pick up the pace a little bit more. That last time by went about 2 seconds faster than Bela. So I'm thinking Bela, turned around and may have gotten stuck in some traffic there when they were kind of going through, and Joel Johnson was able to close that gap and maybe pass around there in a certain situation on the racetrack.
And we have another car coming down pit road right now. That would be the number 581. And
that's Mark Cook in the 581 in that GTD2 class. Look for him. This could be where they're making that 5-minute pit stop. This is where I vision we see some of these cars come in. In other enduros that we've watched here over the course of the season with some of these, your front leading cars, as Rene Robichon just now goes by the start-finish line, and then a little bit further back is the next couple of cars coming in, the John Getz machine. They're starting to run into some of this GTD1 class traffic, so they're starting to put them in. You'll see where some of these drivers will go pretty much to the 45-minute mark. Normally when we do a 90-minute enduro, they will run right to about the halfway point of the enduro, and then they will pit. In this case, I'd venture to see them probably do the same thing, and then really only have 20 minutes, so it'd be a full-on, all-out sprint that comes in here, as it looks like the 66 machine coming down pit road right now there, Josh.
Yep, looks like another typical pit stop for him. He brings it down to the crew's attention. Let's see. The other car looks like that they were going to throw some fuel on. Once again, checking tire pressures. There's no fuel rigs that I see by the wall there. So maybe this is just one of those, yeah, I'm just going to sit here for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think that could be that 66 machine. I believe that is the 166 of Gary Stanberry. So Gary Stanberry down on pit road, I believe that is for his full 5-minute pit stop there. So,
but let's get back to the action. Look at this, Brian. Big gaggle of traffic coming into the toe of the boot. Let's see if they...
Well, there we go. We've got Bela Stanko's machine in there because he is right in there. Joel Johnson a little bit further ahead. and I believe that is one of the Isringhausen cars that they just went by. That's the yellow. I believe that is the 81 machine. That may be Jeff Isringhausen Jr. In that yellow number 81 that they're putting a lap on through there. So again, Bela really having to start working through a lot of traffic. There's the 58 machine. I believe that is actually going to be, that is Glenn Spiegler in that. So they should be coming through there, and they'll be coming up on the 98 machine, I believe, of Ed Dunn here momentarily, because he's just not that far up ahead of that. So again,
yeah, it looks like he is getting a decent run there, you know, working the traffic to the best of his abilities. Dive deep into the braking zone, carry a little bit more momentum, gets on the power there. Gets, guy up ahead gets a little over the rumple strips there, but power, all your power right here, going up into the S's. Let's go through to station 4 there, and now we're on the way to the inner loop here. We dive deep into the braking zone, turn in 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful through there.
A lot of going through there. That car is definitely set up right now, you know, for that. But I tell you what, we're starting to see more drivers come down pit road here. We've got several cars on pit road. We talk about Richard Edge back on pit road there. I think this could be where they're making their 5-minute pit stop. And I do believe that they are actually going to go to a driver change. I see a driver, or they're going to put fuel in the car. I see a driver over there in a suit putting a sock on. So I do believe they may be either A, going to make a driver change, or they're going to put fuel in the car during this 5-minute pit stop. And again, 5 minutes, that's a lot of time, and they are going to make a driver change, because I believe Richard Edge in that 181 is getting out of the car. So we'll try to figure out who's getting back in that car when the time and scoring picks that back up. But Richard Edge looks like he is out of the car, so his weekend is done. The other driver will be getting in there momentarily.
Yeah, and you even, well, what you can't see this, but they even had the little seat insert ready. Richard Edge pulled that as he walked over calmly over the wall, and is giving a quick debrief to the next driver and say, this is how the car is handling. And they've got time to do it because they have 5 minutes, and they have to fuel the car anyways.
Yeah, he's been on and off pit road quite a bit, so they may not have to with this 5 minutes. Again, still got just right around 51 minutes here left to go in this, so quite a bit of time for them to do it. But yeah, you can really see here coming through the bus stop now, pretty big gaggle, and that is the Joel Johnson machine right there in the middle of it. Balastenko right there at the back end of it, that white last Porsche there in there trying to work his way through that traffic. That is going to be one heck of a run to work through and get through that as we start to look at some of these pit stops. I would not be surprised if some of these drivers don't, you know, start to make their pit stops here momentarily and starting to work through that traffic.
And is that Robichon right ahead there?
No, that if that is the 90 machine, that would actually be Nicole Robichon ahead. So both of those cars are there right now. Nicole is a little bit behind Peter DeBusman. And again, that is a green and black Cayman as well, 981 Cayman in the 125. So they may be putting a lap on them. She is 0.4 of a second behind Peter DeBusman in that 125. So again, that's the battle really for GTD1. And that could be where they're coming up on there, as some of these cars really pushing the edge to get through this traffic here, Josh, really going wide coming out of turn number 9.
Yeah, and again, here in turn number 10, it's a little bit of a freight train there. But yeah, you use, to quote one of my friends, I paid for the track, I'm going to use it all.
Yeah.
As now we're definitely in the midst of our pit stops. I know you said that before, Brian. And we will see how the cards are laid out right now, because we are still 49 minutes left in the race. So some people, as you said, we're going to run long. Some might run short. We'll see how the deck is stacked here at the end. But that is everything about endurance racing is you got to make your strategy perfect, and then you have to drive the car.
Yes. Well,
and then the racetrack. So
that always happens. John Coster getting ready to come off pit
rewind
road.
there. Yep.
Oh, and we've got a little bit of contact there in between trying to get through there. We'll see where that is. That may be, looks like somebody missed it. That may be the 90 that had the contact. It looks like the 262, Joseph Viola there, missed the entrance. I would love, and I'm gonna be able to pick this up here, but I do believe that was the 90 of Nicole Robichaux, who was involved with that had a little bit of that incident. So I do believe that she is going to back up a little bit. She was getting close to Peter DeBusman. She was within a second. He got through it. She did not, and I think that got involved with her. So a little bit of contact through that bus stop there, Josh. So that's going to drop her back to at least a couple seconds back. She was within a second of DeBusman.
Yep, and the corner workers are reporting that indeed there was car-to-car contact between, I'm guessing, Busman and Nicole Robichaux, but it looked like three cars all trying to get that perfect line through the inner loop. And, well, 3-into-1 physics doesn't quite work very well. But fortunately for Nicole, her car is like a matte black, so you don't really see the donuts on the side of the car from the car-to-car contact.
Yeah. And that was definitely not the 262. That was actually the 62. That's Jonathan Draper, kind of in the same kind of paint scheme. So that's right around in that area where DeBusman was and Nicole Robichaux was as well. So again, Jonathan Draper in that 62 machine.
We see more cars coming into pit right now. We have the 40 machine and the 81 coming in together. Looks like drivers getting out of the car. So it's either fuel. I do see a fuel jug coming over the rail for the number 40. And let's see, is there another one coming for the 81? Nothing yet, but that doesn't mean that that's not what's going to happen, since they do have 5 minutes here. But let's get back to the racing action, Brian.
Yeah, what I was going to do here right now, Josh, is kind of give a rundown here, because we've got just under 47 minutes, so we're kind of coming up close to that halfway point. We've completed, our overall leaders have completed 15 laps in between there. Looks like we got one car that maybe smoking coming down through, out of turn number 5, down into turn number 6. We'll have to take a look on that. Really, well, the white and the green car just a little bit further back. We'll see what car that is. And it looks like that may be
the 22 machine.
Yeah, 22 machine. So we'll look and see whether or not. I know the corner workers are looking at that car to determine that. And I'm not sure if that may have been a little bit of tire smoke in there. That may be the Hadley Boss Fisher machine. So it could be the 022 machine. That may be. But let's take a little bit. Let's run down some of the groups and give kind of a recap after about 15 laps in. So yeah, in GTB1, Ed Dunn leading by about 13 seconds over that 022 of Hadley Boss Fisher. And we'll have to see whether or not Boss Fisher comes down pit road to have his crew look into that possible smoke. Keith Fisher in third there in GTB1 in the 02. GTC 8 and 57, John Getz leading by about 20 seconds over Russell Farhang, and then another 5 seconds back to Joseph Viola in that 262 machine. In GTC 7, Bayless Stanko leading by about 21 seconds over the 3. Oh, guys, we've got a big one here that's happened. Let's go ahead and follow around and not even. Let's go ahead and move off that camera there. So yeah, that's actually going to be causing a little bit of problem, a little bit of incident there going through turn number 5 through one of the cars, and we are going to go to a double yellow right now. And then it's for that incident down in turn number 5. So we'll let all the cars get through, and then I'll finish getting the rundown into this group. But we'll wait for the safety car to to pick up our field as we go through and pick up a double yellow. And now, guys, gentlemen, we are going to go to a red flag. So we are going to stop all these cars so that we can get our emergency vehicles out on the racetrack to get to that car that was involved in that incident. So while we're doing that, let me go ahead and I'll finish giving you the rundown of the cars that were there. Again, we are going under a red flag for the incident that happened down over in turn 5. We're not going to take that camera. We're going to keep it right here on the start finish so that we know. I'll go back into the GTC 7, the 120 there of Bale and Stenko, leading by about 20 some seconds over the 3 of Philmasia, and then the 008 of Cliff Kyer down a little bit 4. In GTC 6, Jeff Smith leading TJ Larson, and then David Dunnigan in 3rd. In GTD 3, Remy Feard along with Mark Calzaretta, and then Chris Cooley. GTA 3, John Boyette Jr. Is the only car in that class. GTA 1, Gary Stanberry in the 166 machine. Tell you what, while we're working this, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead, let's take our break. We'll thank some partners and sponsors, and when we come back, we'll give you an update of exactly what's going on the racetrack. Right now, we are unfortunately under a red flag display. So let's go ahead and take it. You're watching the 2025 Porsche Clash at the Glen. We'll be right back.
Partners of club racing for over 30 years, Eurosport Porsche Road and Race is a Porsche specialty shop with 2 locations in Illinois operating since 1984. Whether you have an early air-cooled car from the 60s or Porsche's newest cup car, we can provide all your service and parts needs. We are the one-stop shop for all of your Porsche repairs and race builds with a large inventory of Porsche parts and race gear.
Apex Racing Performance, premier racing outfitters, provides racing equipment and product support to motorsports enthusiasts. A member of PCA since 1991, Clark Hammerly and his wife Linda both hold competitive racing licenses and install, use, and test the equipment they sell. This enables them to provide unbiased technical assistance on installation and use of their products. From helmets and race apparel to personal cooling and fire systems, Apex Performance also stocks performance friction brake pads for all Porsche applications. They invite you to visit their showroom in Merle's Inlet, South Carolina, shop online at www.apexperformance.net, call toll-free, or view their track schedule online. Mention PCA Club Racing to receive a discount on your next purchase.
Demon Speed Motorsports offers a full line of products for your race or track car. With their background in Porsche GT3 Cup cars, they bring the same quality and durability to the street and track replacement parts that they produce. These products include suspension links, motorsport style center lock parts and kits, brake rotors, and wing uprights. Now, Good Arrow Wings and RacingTireWarmers.com are part of the Demon Speed family. With this, they now offer Good Arrow Wings with mounting solutions for most Porsche models. Racing Tire Warmers offer tire warmers to custom fit your race car to make you faster and safer on track. To learn more about Demon Speed Motorsports and see their great products, visit them at www.demonspeedmotorsports.com.
Trailix Trailer sets the standard for super lightweight, superior craftsmanship, and extraordinary quality. If you need a trailer, whether it be enclosed or open, to tow your Porsche, Trailix should be your first and only choice. Trailix has many sizes to fit your Porsche perfectly, and their unique touches ensure that your trailer will be as functional as it is beautiful. Trailix Trailers sponsors the Novice Racer Award, a gift certificate given to the second-time racer who exemplifies the club racing spirit.
Come join racers, sponsors, spectators, and volunteers at this year's Rock the Summit, September 12th through 14th. Rock the Summit is the club race for PCA Potomac's Founders Region, and at 34 years, it's the longest-running PCA race in the nation. Beyond the high-energy racing, join us for live music, a barbecue dinner, roaming beer carts during happy hours, and some other treats as well. Our 100-plus highly committed volunteers are ready to make the race weekend the best you'll ever experience, whether you're a racer, spectator, or sponsor. See you at Rock the Summit 2025.
Mantis Tuning is your partner in ECU and gearbox calibrations. Exploit the full potential of your race car with a custom calibration tailored to the modifications you've made to the car. Other services include cloning a spare ECU, repairing and recovering data from a damaged ECU or TCU, and deleting those annoying check engine lights for missing components. Engine swaps, secondary air deletes, rev limiters, larger throttle bodies, and off-road catalytic deletes are not a problem. Speak to our team at a race near you or email info@mantisautosport.com.
Upper Canada region is proud to host the 28th annual Can-Am Challenge Club Race at historic Mosport Raceway in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada, Thursday, June 26th through 29th. Described by Juan Pablo Montoya as one of the most challenging tracks in the world with its elevation changes and blind corners, it's the fastest track IMSA races on. Another racer described the speed and elevation changes like landing on an aircraft carrier. The perfect high-speed track for any car. Get in gear and set a reminder in clubregistration.net. Registration opens May 12th. Our team is here to answer any of your questions, from border crossing to the best accommodations, to help you plan your trip to our amazing track. Reach out to club-race@pcaucr.org.
Welcome back here to the 2025 Porsche Clash at the Glen. So unfortunately, we did have a red flag incident. We had an incident over in the bus stop. We did get word that the driver is okay. I do not have a word on which driver or car that it was. You can see there they're cleaning up the tire wall. What we're going to do at this point, we're going to go to a double yellow, and then we're going to go back and we're going to do a black flag also. We're going to bring all the cars back down pit road, and then we're going to reline them back up, and then we're going to end up restarting this race. Right now the clock is continuing to count down. We've got about 28 minutes. This is going to put a little bit of a wrinkle, Josh, in some of these team strategies because they have to make that pit stop. So again, we'll let the stewards play out how they want to happen and how they want to do it. They may continue to run the clock, then stop the clock once all the cars are back down on pit road to allow these teams to go through and work to make their pit stop. So again, they are starting to clean up. They're going to rework on some of that tire wall repair, and hopefully we should be going back to green here momentarily once that gets cleaned up.
Yeah, and also once they get the cars in the correct order, obviously, because when you red flag, there are people that are stopping all over the course, not just packed up behind the safety car. I think the leaders were all the way at turn 6 by that time, and they sent the safety car out. So we will see what happens, and as soon as we know, well, that means you guys will know.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the safety car there that just went through their shot, picked up Rene Robichaux out there along with John Getson and I believe Joel Johnson in there. So again, we've got some of our front leading cars. Everything is going to be mixed because again, when you come down and you have that, stop safely on the racetrack, out of the way, so that at some point an emergency vehicle can get through there. They'll come back in. They'll bring the leaders back up front, and then they'll roll out once they go off. After that, everybody else will fall in line after that. As I said, part of the strategy with 26 minutes really left to go in this race, because the clock is continuing to run, what ends up happening is you technically got 16 minutes before the pits officially close. Now, again, once they get all the cars down on pit road, they may stop the clock in order for them to do it. It is going to take a little bit of a time for some cleanup over there regarding some of the tire wall repairs, as well as some of the the cleanup from the oil and then that may have been put down on the racetrack out there. So again, pretty extensive cleanup that's going to happen. So we'll let the stewards decide how they're going to do it. You can see now that it looks like they are starting to, the tire wall may be repaired. We're going to get those workers there, and then what we'll do is turn around and clean up the rest of that racetrack right there, and hopefully it takes 10 minutes. We can get back to finishing up this enduro. Some of the cars have made the turn down, but it looks like both of the Isringhausen cars here, Josh, have made the right-hand turn back behind the wall and heading back towards the paddock. So looks like they're calling this race early for both of those cars, one being the 81 there. I believe that is Jeffrey Isringhausen Jr., and then the other one as well coming down back into the paddock.
Makes you wonder if some of the drivers think that this race might not.
Well, it looks like,
again.
oh, so I see what they're doing. So I believe that since we are under the yellow at this point in the black flag, looks like they may be going into their pits. So they came down and around because they know they needed to be in the back end of the field, because they were the first two cars down there after coming down pit road black. They kind of came down towards the back of the field. So here comes the safety car. That's got the 91 there in tow, basically in front, coming down the pit road. Again, you guys can't see this as they come down pit road, but it looks like we will put the 91, and then they will go through and move the field where they need them to be. You can see there in your shot, the car should be coming, and the safety car should be coming into your camera momentarily with the Rene Robichaux machine directly behind that. So again, we'll we'll get it. We'll get that picked up and get that cleaned up, and then hopefully we can get racing here.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be, again, and it's going to take, Josh, look, it's going to take a couple minutes to get these cars relined back up where they are. They are moving some of the cars back over into the right side, right, where the leaders would be. The safety car is going to go back out and kind of circle around, and then what they'll do is they'll just do a little course check, and then hopefully we can get these cars out there. So hopefully it doesn't take very long. But again, some of these cars, actually a lot of these cars, Josh, they haven't made a pit stop, and I keep saying that, but it does play into what they're going to be able to, how they're going to be able to do it. So we'll let them worry about that. We'll just talk about what we see right now. A lot of these drivers in these cars, some of them have shut off the cars, because I do believe it is going to take a little bit of time, and I do believe we have all of the cars off the racetrack and back down through down into pit road. Crews are talking to stewards, trying to figure out what we're going to do. We have a handful of stewards out there that will place these cars in the position, and I do believe that some of these cars may be rolling through. I believe that was the Rene Robichaux machine that just went down through kind of the access road. So I don't know if they're going to, and Josh, you and I were talking about it before, it looks like they're going to go down and make the right-hand turn and come back up, or, they're going to line them up down at the end of pit road, almost to pit exit out. You see right there for the safety car. So what we'll do is the stewards will come up to the car on pit lane. They will pick that car, and they will send that car down, and then we'll line them up that way to give it more room, because it's almost impossible to do it, on pit road. Even though as wide as pit road is, it is impossible to get all these cars.
Yeah, and also you get it in dealing with the timing loop as well. So this is a good way of not putting a car up on a lap on somebody.
Right, then you got to bring that car back down. Right, yep. So again, the timing and scoring does continue to run. We'll let that go, and then after we get back to racing, we'll just we'll follow the flags, and we'll listen to the race net, and they will tell us when we're getting ready to we're ready to go. I would venture to say is if they leave the same pit window the way that we've done all the other enduros, Josh, some of these drivers will go out as soon as the green flag comes out. They will pit. Because at that point the pit window will be open. So you can see the cars here from one of our camera there in the S's. They are starting to move them down a little bit further. Again, we had 50-some cars that went out to take the green, actually 57 cars. We've had a few that have dropped out, but again, it's a pretty big field here that they will take and send down in there, and they will line them back up in the order they are on the racetrack. When they go back out for that, that next one lap, I don't believe we will go green the first time by. We will probably do one full lap, to get them in there. That way they know that they have the right lineup.
Yeah.
This cleanup continues down there. Just on the exit of the bus stop. So it shouldn't take them very long with that sweeper. They'll take that sweeper and they'll sweep all that stuff over there, get any of that debris out. Obviously, turn 5 in the bus stop there, they will show that debris flag at least for a couple laps once we do go back.
Yeah, and as you see there, they've got the Buffalo turbine ready to blow off some of that speedy dry that no doubt has been put down to get any automotive fluids that might have escaped during that particular thing. But it does look like to me, Brian, that they have pretty much sorted out the wall.
Yeah, they've got that tire wall repair fixed, so we're going to have to take our emergency vehicles, and they're going to have to come down for a pit stop here shortly. Maybe we can get them to come down for their 5-minute pit stop.
Yeah, we'll see. But I think right now the leader is currently Rush Pond, who is driving the pace car. Uh, and alongside of him is Joe Patane. So we want to thank, of course, all of the workers here for PCA and also the flaggers, but also the pace car drivers for donating their time to help us run a safe race.
Yeah, and again, we're not sure how the stewards are going to handle that mandatory stop, being that the clock is continuing to run, and technically pit road closes the last 10 minutes of the race. Right now, there's about 18 minutes. I would assume that they would extend that out a little bit longer to make sure that they do it. So we'll have to see how they handle that. We're going to let them handle that. We'll cover it. I do know that there is quite a bit of cars that have not made a pit stop. I mean, you've got to go all the way back to, I believe, well, you know, it's going to be hard to tell because we do have cars that are laps down based off being passed out on the racetrack, Josh. Through that, as you can see, our line is starting to grow in the line that they need to be. There is the 89 machine. That was one of the Isringhausen cars that I thought may have come back to the back end of the pit road, but that is not the case. He is out there getting himself in line. I do know that the 81 came back around and it is at the back tail end of the line here through that. So we'll get all this sorted out. But you know, when I look through timing and scoring, and normally we can see, we have ways to see when, you know, how many laps they've done since they pitted. There's a lot of drivers that haven't pitted, right? I mean, there's almost 3/4 of this field that has not pitted. I think the only one that is, you know, that we've seen that's been down here for quite some time is the Richard Edge machine and that 181 who it looks like they did do a driver change there. So again, you know, a lot of these drivers have not made that pit.
Yeah, and hopefully they will get to do that. But this is all up to the stewards. This is way beyond our pay grade, and that's why they let the stewards deal with it instead of us, because I don't know about you, Brian, but I certainly wouldn't want to try and sort this mess out.
Yeah, well, you know, again, when you look at it through timing and scoring, and one of the positives is nowadays with all the technology is that the timing and scoring, you know, group up here can send that message down to the stewards that are working down in pit road. Again, there's a handful of stewards down there that will in turn put the drivers where they need to go. It all comes down, it all gets labeled down there. They can look on either an iPad or a phone and they can pick it up, or they can send some sheets down there and have them printed, and they can put them where they need to be at that point in time. So again, the way the technology is, it's not like, you know, we're, you know, unfortunately with the technology, we're not back in the 70s where we had to hand score everything, right? So
yeah.
Now, you know, if you had to do that, this would be almost a complete disaster if we had to do that. So now with the technology that we have, it is, you know, complete setup through there.
Well, it's looking like they are getting pretty well sorted out, getting down pit road right now. There are fewer and fewer cars being sent down out onto the racetrack, so it looks like they've kind of got everything going good right now. Of course, once the stewards deem it appropriate, they will release the safety car from its current parking position and let the field go behind the safety car.
Yeah, you know, again, we'll get this lined up. Like I said, we're not gonna worry about how that is. It looks like we've got pretty much, I'd say 90% cleaned up there. We're gonna have the jet dryer come in there. I call it a jet dryer, but it's more of a jet sweeper. Blow all that stuff off. Unfortunately, the corner workers right there
Oh, that's not
that
fun.
that is going to be so up for you. Yeah, he's now coming out of there like, oops, well, didn't see that was coming. Should have seen that coming, along with the other individuals that are down there in the corner leaving. So they are going to have pretty much a body full of kitty litter and
Yeah, I've been downwind
Speedy
when
drive.
that has happened, and yeah, especially if you are wearing glasses, yeah, that can be quite uncomfortable.
So it looks like we are getting really, really close, really close to getting this thing back underway and getting these drivers back out on racetrack, which is a good sign, right? I mean, that means we're really getting close to getting these cars back in line. I think as we get to kind of portions of the back of the line, these are the drivers, I think, as we go through this, Josh, that they've already made their pit stops, right? We've seen quite a bit of drivers that did make pit stops, but then there are, like I said, 3/4 that have not made a pit stop through here. So they are trying to work through all of that as well with timing and scoring. So,
Well, the one advantage to this is that they cars that might need to have fueled, I don't think they need to now.
well, I think they're going to have to be fueled. I mean, they, again, you get to a certain point where, even though they were sitting here, some of them have been running the cars and everything else. They came down pit road, you turned the car off. You still had quite a bit of time. Again, it's all going to depend on really what the time left is. The time is showing 12 minutes left. I'm not sure if they're going to, leave the window. There's Bela Stanko machine right there getting in line. Looks like that is down still on pit road, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And he should be kind of up into fifth overall. So I'm not sure why with the way they're lining them up. So based off my timing and scoring, and heck, what do I know, right? And I think he's kind of saying the same thing a little bit.
Yeah, and drivers do not like to just sit in their race cars and wait to go back under green. They prefer to be out there, right, Brian?
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. Coming from a driver myself, again, what really happens is when you have an incident like this, and then you have to come down on pit road, to get through there. And now it looks like Bela is starting to really move through there. Again, it could be the way that they crossed the finish line the last time. Still could be in fifth overall, but the way they crossed the finish line before it happened, or if they may have reset some of the timing and scoring. But as a driver, you go through that. You have it, and then all of a sudden your mindset goes to, okay, I got to rethink everything that's going on in the car, what's going on here, what's going on there, what do I tell my crew? You kind of lose a little bit of focus, and you got to regain that. Now, these guys have a lot of experience in these cars, and a lot of these, that's all they do is they race on the weekends, right? Even though some of them have raced pro before, some of them have not. They spend a lot of time racing these cars over the weekend. So every weekend, somewhere at some point. So what ends up happening is that really doesn't go into their mind at that point. The challenge becomes is now the tires have gotten cold, the brakes have gotten cold, where your car's setup was really working good, may not work that good right now. It's going to take some laps. And again, depending on what they do with the time frame here is going to determine what they're going to do in terms of how the rest of this race is going to play out.
Okay, so according to the race net that I heard, we are now under double yellow, and when they go green, they will open up pit road and leave it open for the remainder of this race.
Okay, all right, good. So that kind of will do it. So again, and being that we are at 9.5 minutes left, and the cars are starting to roll towards the back, really you have to go in and make a pit stop. But if you have to do a 5-minute mandatory pit stop, then what ends up happening is that your time may run out or expire in the race. So it looks like we got one car that may have stalled back there on the side. I believe that's just out of the window too. One of the, I'm wondering if that is the Marco Chiron car. The 184 may have stalled back there. It's kind of hard to tell. We'll see when they come back around. It does look like that car. That car had some problems, but again, it's very hard to tell, so I'm not going to speculate too much on that. I do know it ends in a 4, though, Josh, so that I can see.
Well, I have also just now heard that you'll be going green this time by.
All right, so we're going to get just this lap in here and go green by, which will put us right around probably another minute and a half to go back all the way around through there. So in that 8-minute mark, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge here. So hopefully they can get that car that stalled. If that car hasn't started back up, that could be a challenge in its own self. It's still sitting there. It looks like it has, may have moved. I'm not sure. Nope, still sitting there down on the right-hand side. So this is going to be very difficult to go green. It does look like it's trying to move. I see it rolling a little bit.
And it looks like the
camera,
EV vehicles are coming out to render it assistance.
Yeah.
And fortunately, they will be able to pull that off about Station 4. So we may, depending how quickly they can hook this one up, we may still be able to take that. Hopefully, it's just in need of a flat toe.
Well, they're just now coming down the hill, heading up into the boot down into turn number 7. Hopefully you're right. If it's just a flat toe, they can hook that car up and get that pulled out there. If not, we may end up having to go another lap around in order to, before we go back green, depending on whether or not it is, able to be flat toed. Although we did see it rolling, so I would assume that the car's not stuck in gear there. That does sometimes happen, especially in these Caymans. They will get stuck in gear. And even in these 992 Cup cars, and then they make it difficult to move through there.
Well, hopefully it's not like that he has a flat battery because he was running his cool system or everything. Yep, they're going to pull him off at 4.
Okay, good. So they're going to get that hooked up, and they're going to get him pulled out of there so that we'll take a look and see if we can see what the number is on that car as it goes by. That's
74 multi is what I am hearing.
74, okay. Keith Clark having a little bit of an issue restarting that car afterwards. Looks like that car is definitely going to get pulled off, so they're going to come up through turn number 9 here, come up turn 10. We're going to go back to green flag racing, and again, we'll let it up to the discretion of the stewards and of the officials of how long we're going to go. They are going to leave pit road open, as you said, Josh, for the remainder of the race. And you know what? You could be right. Some of these cars may not pit. I don't know how they would handle the rule there on that, other than, maybe rewinding the clock. A little bit late for that now, rewinding that clock. But it does look like we are getting ready to go back to green. So it does look like it could be Rene Robichaux. That will be your leader coming through here. We'll see who comes by in second. But we are back to racing, and we are green flag one last time here. As we set these cars down through there, it is Rene Robichaux, then Joel Johnston. Then you've got the 858 there, Murray. Russell Farhang now has moved all the way up into 4th overall and is now leading in that GTC 8 class over Joseph Viola. That's going to be a nice battle going down to the end. That's going to be the silver 992 Cup car versus Joseph Viola in that blue and yellow, looks like a lightning bolt on there. As they go by, that was 0.2 of a second when they went by the start-finish line. So we'll have to see where they are on the racetrack. I do believe they're probably going to be behind our front couple of cars. I did see that there was the maybe the 28 involved in that beginning right there on drivers, right, the third car in line there, right behind our leader when they went to green flag. So we'll see. And the 184 is now on pit road. Looks like he's going to move all the way down through. Looks like he didn't make his stop, so it looks like he may go down to the end of pit road. That is the Marco Chiron car. Looks like he may turn around and go and make the right-hand turn, so not even going to finish this race right there. So it does look like his day and weekend is now done. We do have a waving yellow there at the top of the hill, or at turn number 6, I believe, going down into the boot. So we'll have to see. Maybe there's a car down at the bottom there.
And Brian, it looks like that we have about 15 minutes left in this race, at least according to our timing and scoring right now.
Yeah, so they did bump that back up. I did notice that. They bumped it back up. That says they're going to restart the clock basically when they went green, up to 15 minutes. The pit road is going to stay open, as you mentioned, the entire time. I see some of these cars starting to come down pit road. Here comes your overall leader now in Rene Robichaud, so I'm sure that word got through that we still have to complete our 5-minute pit stop, but we'll have 15 minutes left. There is one car sitting there in the turn, number 8. Looks like that car is going to be able to get going. We'll get the card number on there. I don't believe that was the Isringhausen car because he just went by the start-finish line.
Yeah, and now with all this, of course, with all the cars pitting, this is completely resetting the race.
Yeah,
not only because of the red flag, but now, you're not really sure, okay, who am I actually racing right now?
Well, this just shows a complete big monkey wrench in, what we were talking about at the very beginning of the race. Before we, when we were going to that unfortunate red flag incident, as I was giving the rundowns, that just basically changed the whole thing because now everybody who pitted beforehand, they don't have to pit, right? They're done with their 5-minute mark. Everybody else, and as I mentioned to you earlier, Josh, 3/4 of this field, this 57-car field, didn't pit yet before that happened. Pit road's going to be a very busy place here within the next lap. We're already starting to see lots of cars sitting down there, including your overall leader and your leader there in the in that GTD1 class with my timing and scoring is bouncing all over the place. In the GTB1 class there of Ed Dunn. So Ed Dunn came in, so he's sitting down on pit road as well. Keith Fisher out there. I believe Keith Fisher is out there running along with Kevin Sear. That's going to move them two up top. But we'll have to check. I don't see either one of them on pit road, but it could be that it's outside my window view here, Josh, that they can't see it.
Yeah. And even more people now are peeling off to come down pit road.
Yeah.
So right now it's showing as Voglia in first, second Russell Farhang, and then Russell Farhang. Then, okay, yeah, things are bouncing all
so
over.
he's on pit road. That's why. So
Okay.
Philip Leger is on pit road there, just now coming through past our window there. Joseph Viola is in the 262. He went by the start-finish line. So again, this is what I said. 2/3 of this field has not pitted, and they need to complete the 5 minutes. That's why we rolled the clock back to to that 15-minute mark. We're back to green to give those drivers enough time to come in, complete that 5-minute pit stop, and still have another 5 minutes basically to go back out. A lot of these drivers came in at the 11, 12-minute mark. Some of them just came in at the 10-minute mark. At this point in time of the race, it is to go out and finish where you can. Obviously, you want to try to win in your class and overall. But at this point, everything is going to be so jumbled up that it's going to be almost impossible to have them figure that out until it's all over and done. Because, in this enduro, it's not just an enduro. This is a national points race enduro. So this is national points involved in this. So, again, the stewards will take care of that. They will run through that and do it. But as of right now, it looks like we've got about just 9.5 minutes left to go in this enduro that, 75 minutes has now become, 85 minutes overall, if you think about it, minus the time that we sat, unfortunately, because of the red flag. So again, these cars having to sit here for 5 minutes. But we've got some cars, again, as I said, these are the cars that pitted earlier. They didn't have to stop, and they don't have to stop. If we look at some of our drivers here that, did make a stop early on that are out there. We've got 18 laps completed total, 19 laps now, as it looks like I believe Viola is now on pit road as well. So it looks like the 008 Cliff Kayer, he's going to jump to the top of the spot and lead GT7 by about 4.5 seconds off of Rafael Lopez in the 020. I don't believe they have stopped either. So we have to look based off of the number of laps. Remy Feard has not stopped. There goes Rene Robichaux out back onto the racetrack. That had completed their 5-minute lap. So, again, looking at the number of times, it will be, it's going to be a challenge. As all of these cars came in at the same time, Josh, they're all going to leave at the same time.
Yeah, at this point, if I were on comms with a driver, what I would say is see car, pass car. That's the only way that I can go with strategy. As you said, we are just over 8 minutes left in this race. Cliff Kayer is showing as the leader, then Rafael Lopez, then Voglia are your top 3 overall. And yeah, I have no idea what the class battles are going to be here, but right now it's see car, pass car, and leave it all out on the track.
Well, I think it's some of the cars that were in the very back of the fields within your class, they pitted earlier, right? Now they don't have to. It's going to throw a big, huge shakeup, really for the end of the year points, but it's also going to throw a big shakeup here in these cars. Mark Calzaretta still sitting down on pit lane to complete his 5 minutes pit stop that he needed to do. He was actually leading GTD3. Him and Remy Feard were battling it back and forth right before we went to the red flag. Remy Feard, I believe, has not pitted yet. Remy Feard has to come down pit road here pretty darn quickly in that 53 machine in order for that to happen. I believe there is the 008. That is the Kayer machine in there. So he is pitting. In there, we've got several other more drivers pitting. It is wide open on the racetrack right now, Josh. There is really no battle on the racetrack between cars. Everybody's kind of got within 25, 30, even 40 car lengths. I think that's the closest battle on the racetrack coming out of turn number 9, heading up into turn 10. These are all the same drivers that came off of pit road at the same time.
Yeah, but we'll at least still see some real good racing there. See if we can figure out who those guys are that we're seeing in screen now. I think that's one of the Robichaux cars, but I am not entirely certain of that. But we are still now at 6 minutes left in this race. And yeah, and now we go on board. And yes, I do believe that was one of the Robichaux cars. That's the 90. That would be Nicole.
That's
then.
Nicole, yep. So that's Nicole getting passed there by Bela Stenko Jr. In that 120 car. Again, Bela was up in the top 5 at one point, and then kind of got moved to the back of this starting thing. And I think that is because I believe Bela made that pit stop right before that came out. And I think that's what we saw. Oh, a little bit loose hitting the curbing there, coming through the bus stop again. Had that problem earlier on, losing the front end of that car with that steering when you hit it. So really having to take care of that to get through the rest of this race. Again, right around that 5-minute mark right now as we go. So again, these drivers really making the end of their pit stops. They're going to have about 5 minutes, which is going to be about probably three more laps that they're probably going to get once they get back out on the racetrack.
Yeah, I think that's the T3 that just came in.
Well, that would be Remy Farid.
I'm not sure.
Yep, that's Remy Farid in that, yep.
So he has done that. So we'll drop that, will bring up Rafael Lopez and Woody Witchard, who earlier looked like that they were battling pretty well there. That would be the 020 and the 212, as we see somebody miss the inner loop.
Yeah,
and
right out in front of the 207 of Joel Johnston, I believe, coming out through there. So we'll see which car it is. I believe that may be Joel Johnston.
It is the 32 machine, apparently, that missed the loop there. But corner workers are satisfied that he slowed down enough and gained an advantage.
Well, I don't see where you could, when you're by yourself right there, gain an advantage coming through. But yes, making that stop, as close to it as you can when you're coming through there at a high rate of speed and not able to make the right-hand turn into there and you go straight, you're just hoping the brakes stop and you get going through there from that.
Yeah, because it gets nasty if you lose your brakes, especially at that section there. So right now, it's Cliff Care. It'll be Lopez and Witchard. Let's see if we can find that battle, Zach.
Well, let's see. So that would be the blue, the GTT Cup car, along with Rafael Lopez in the 020 in that 992 or that 991 car. That's going to be a black car. That's gonna come through there. So again, all of those drivers on kind of that lap 20, they just pitted, I believe. So we'll have to see, because I haven't seen them come across the start-finish line. They may be down on pit road somewhere, finishing up their pit stops. I do know that the 008 is down on pit road as well, but based off of the number of laps that he has run, he is going to be kind of moving down the line there, as Rene Robichaud just went by the start-finish line with Joel Johnston close in tow. They're now back on the overall lead lap there, back up into 6th and 7th overall. But that is going to be a battle for the GTA 4 class. There was about 12 seconds difference, so we'll see what happens with them. We'll look for that green and black number 91 as that car comes back through. I believe that they may be kind of in the, is that them entering the bus stop right there? No, that's the 262, I believe, of Viola. So we're going to be a little bit further ahead of that.
And I'm overhearing on the corner worker net that this time by, it'll be 1 to go for this race. So Cliff Care just has one more circuit to make.
Well, he just left pit road, and it looks like we got a spin down there in turn number 8 right now. We'll get the number on that. Well, the 008 just left pit road, and I'm not sure if timing and scoring is actually working correctly right now. I'm only showing everybody completing 20 laps all the way back down, but I know when they came back out, they had more than that. So, again, we'll look to see who's getting the 1 to go. Looks like everybody's getting the 1 to go. I'm not sure who the overall leader is at this point in time with the timing and scoring. Now it looks like it's updating. So now it looks like Rene Robichaud has now jumped up, back up on top in GTA 4 with Joel Johnson in the 207, 13 seconds behind. Cliff Care, he's going to drop because he literally just left pit road a little while ago, but that's going to move the 3 of Philip Leja in that GTC 7 class, move him up to 3rd overall, move him up into that lead. So again, we'll let this go through. We'll pick up when the checkered flag comes out. But right now, with them still trying to recapture and recatch, timing and scoring, Remy Feard is just now leaving pit road as well, showing in 9th place. So again, this is going to be a kind of a free-for-all for timing and scoring. We'll let them figure it out. But Rene Robichaud making his way down through the boot. He will be coming up through the top of the hill momentarily. He's going to get through turn 8, and then next time he crosses that start-finish line, they will start to receive the checkered flag in any car that follows after that. So again, Rene Robichaud right there going through turn number 8, heading up the hill, up into turn 9. We're making that left-hander turn, Josh, one last time for the weekend. Right there, all cars in front of him will have one more lap to go, but right now, looks like he's got a pretty comfortable lead overall and as well for the GTA 4. Like I said, 13 seconds ahead of Joel Johnston.
Yeah, and here we come. Rene Robichaud comes down for the checkered flag right now as he flashes the highlights. Brian, let's see how people did, at least according to timing and scoring.
Yeah, we'll let some of these other cars go through because we've got a big bunch of cars coming down now through turn number 10, and I believe a lot of those are cars that just came off of pit road the last time by, where they're trying to get back out to complete really one lap as Philip Lejeune in that number 3 machine goes through. There goes the 64 there of Dwayne Moses and Drury. I believe that's Drury in the car now. Dwayne Moses started the car. Russell Farhang sitting in 4th. Russell's going to pick up the GTC 8. So again, we'll let the rest of these cars kind of come through here as we still got some pretty good side-by-side racing on the racetrack right here. I believe that is going to be the 262 right there, Joseph Viola. Here comes the yellow number 81 of Isringhausen. He's going to make a nice move down into the boot. Moved over to the right. I believe the 28 machine is right directly behind him. Potentially going to make that same move as the Isringhausen. That's Peter Habestad in there, going to make that move to try to make that stick and try to move up another position here as the races. Some of these drivers, Baylor Stanko runs his fastest lap of the race on technically lap 22.
Not bad. Picking the perfect time to go purple, I guess.
Well, his fastest lap, not the fastest lap of the race.
Wow.
The fastest lap of the race was done by Rene Robichaud early on in this race with that 150 mark. So again, that was set on lap 5. So again, that's going to be kind of in between. So I tell you what, looks like a lot of our cars now have come across the start-finish line. Let's go ahead and we'll give the final rundown, and then we'll talk about what we saw this weekend, and then we'll kind of close up and wrap up the show here. So in GTA 1, Gary Stanberry in that 166 machine, he's going to pick up the win there. In GTC 7, the 3 of Philip Lejeune is going to pick that up. Pick up that win. Dwayne Moses and then Drury, they're going to finish second in GTC 7. Baylor Stanko Jr. is going to end up finishing third in GTC 7. In GTD 2, Corey Lipka is going to pick up the one over Nelson Guerre and Brenton in that 111, and then Dave Wildrick in the 63 is going to pick up third place. In GTC 6, the 924 of Jeff Smith is going to pick up the win there. The 103 of TJ Larson is going to finish second, and then the family affair there of the Lopez in the 058, they're going to end up finishing third. So good battle back there to get by John Koster in that 573, who's going to finish fourth. In GTC 4, Noam Ilabu is going to pick up that win, and I believe Noam, this is his first race weekend. So again, his first Enduro here at Watkins Glen for GTC 4. In GTD 1, Nicole Robichaud, she's going to get around Peter DeBusman there towards the end of this race. In that 90 machine, she's going to pick up the win in GTD 1 over Peter. In GTD 3, Mark Calzaretta again picks up the win, completes the sweep in that number 17 machine over the 53 of Remy Faird and the 76 of Charlie Craig. In GTA 4, Rene Robichaud and your overall winner, they're going to pick up the win. Joel Johnston's going to fight back after that incident he had on Friday in that machine. And then in the third position, the last podium spot, the 288 of Mustafa Garafov is going to finish third, with the Ducotes finishing in fourth in that number 80. In GTA 3, John Boyette Jr., and I believe that may be David Murray or Daniel Murray in that number 11 machine is going to pick up the win there. In GTC 8, Russell Farhang is going to pick up the win over the 97 of R. White and Q All in there. So Good congratulations to them. And the last podium spot there for Joseph Viola in the 262 machine. In GTB1, Ed Dunn does pick up the win there in that 98 machine over the 02 of Keith Fisher, along with the 194 of Kevin Sear. So that's actually going to round up. So Josh, I got to tell you, there was a lot of action here in this second Enduro that we thought we were going to go green to checker there for quite some time.
Yeah, but of course, as soon as we said it, things just ran amok there, and we definitely saw some Porsche certified monkey wrenches get thrown into the schedule here all weekend, whether it be weather to course cleanup.
Yeah.
But one thing we did see was very good Porsche racing.
Yeah, very good driving, amongst with everybody. So with that, we're going to wrap it up here, and then we went a little bit long for the 2025 Porsche Clash at the Glen. Can't thank our sponsors enough. Can't thank Pirelli for presenting that Enduro. We definitely went a little bit longer than anticipated. But if you like what you saw, if you like what you heard, give us a thumbs up on the Porsche Club Racing YouTube page. Smash that notification bell so that way you know when we're coming back live for the next event. You get notified. So for Josh Ashby, I'm Brian Donati for the 2025 Porsche Clash at the Glen. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.